Thanks for being patient again with us this evening, as ever. I am happy to report the esteemed Kaiju Noir has graced us with his return after his long quest of the gamma-powered kaiju. Wait a minute, why am I reading from a movie script here?
In a world where one YouTuber / comic book writer has to deal with gamma-powered fiends, only one man can save the day. Hey, everybody.
I'd watch that movie.
Me too.
Then
Shut
you
up
all
and
have
take my
bad
money.
taste, unfortunately.
All right,
We would all be in
folks.
for a terrible time.
All right, folks. Just a heads up, we don't really know where Raiden is at the moment. I can only presume Raiden's got some plans he has for this evening, and
Probably somewhere in the other realm, fighting the Mortal Kombat tournaments or
Yep.
whatever.
yep.
What's it called? Outworld, other world, nether
Outworld.
realm.
You got it right the
Think
first
so.
time.
Okay.
Well,
Anywho,
last week, folks, I wasn't able to give you what I promised as the preview in the live stream due to some technical issues with a copyright claim that got this review blocked, but I've since tweaked the review. The only thing, it was literally just 9 seconds of movie footage that the algorithm had an issue with, so I've like, right, cut that out of the review, put it back up, and the only thing it didn't flag me, but it just says, hey, you're using this stuff in your video, but we're okay with it. So after it's taken a week, but I can finally give the audience what I was going to promise them. And
there
that's
we go.
and that specifically is the 13th anniversary of TMNT.
Ooh.
I like these things to be a surprise, but again, it was too late by the time that I had it uploaded. So I said I would, get it corrected and what have you. So it's a week late, but I'm gonna give people what I was promising to give them.
Ooh, Raiden.
Raiden joins us.
Raiden, good. My goodness, man, your timing couldn't have been more perfect.
Am I missing something? Because I just came back from a shower.
We're watching in the TMNT review.
Oh, word? Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
This is what I promised last week, dude, but I wasn't able to provide because of the fact that the algorithm had issues with it.
Dicked you over?
I wouldn't use those exact.
In other words, it's just another day as a YouTuber on this freaking website.
I can tell.
It is what it is at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what part do I gotta skip to?
We haven't
We
started yet.
No, we haven't started yet.
literally on
Okay.
0-0.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's where I'm at still.
Okay. Everybody at 0.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, play.
Still like this logo, by the way.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Please be known, it's been a while since I've seen this movie. Well, I know it's a review, but still, nice logo.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Developmental hell. It's something that happens to franchises from time to time. Nothing could be
Yeah.
more apropos when
Oh, yeah.
describing the Ninja Turtles franchise. After the disappointment in fan and critical reception, as well as the lowest taken box office receipts with 1993's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Still
3,
enjoyed it, by the way.
there had been attempts at a
Yeah,
potential
that's a
fourth
guilty
live-action
pleasure of
feature
movie of
that would
mine.
have seen the return of
Yeah.
the Foot and the Shredder, but the studio had no confidence based on the takings, and so it took 14 years before the Heroes in a Half show would return to the big screen with the CG animated movie TMNT. Has this held up since 2007? Well, it's time to find out as we head back to New York City for TMNT. I think one of the key themes about this movie is family. We have a situation where the pillar stone of the Ninja Turtles has been away on training in Central America for a year so that he may advance his stance as a leader, and we see the other brothers coping in his absence, with Donatello becoming a tech support technician, Michelangelo as a kids party entertainer, and Raphael being a metal-clad nighttime vigilante in I Can't Believe It's Not Batman.
So Raphael then.
Donnie as IT tech support makes sense since he
I
does
love the
machines.
suit, by the way. It's so cool.
In most incarnations, he's been the brain and techno wizard of the Turtles. So seeing him in
It's
this
no surprise that
scenario
he
where he's
included
working as tech
the
support
night
to earn
was
some
it the
extra
Night
money
Watcher
around
as
the lair is something
an
I can see
unlockable
him
skin in
doing.
that fighting game.
Nice.
Yeah,
Monkey
yeah.
as a kid's party entertainer. Well, let's be real
He
here.
is a party
what else
animal.
Could he do? You wouldn't trust this turtle to deliver pizza as he'd eat them before delivering them. That gives a whole new meaning to eating up the profits.
God damn it.
Was that like an audio clip for me?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
And this is something that plays
when we
into
were-
the tension and confrontation
When we
with
introduced
Leo.
Raiden to
Because I
Chad
mentioned in
Warden.
the previous review,
Oh,
this
God,
no!
tension had been present in the live-action
why?
trilogy, and it finally came to a head.
Sup,
This is stock
bitches.
audio.
This is Chad Warden.
And we have the sci-fi elements
Oh,
of Winter
no,
and his
no.
true
Yes,
identity,
yes, it was.
the
Yes, it
warlord
was.
Yautl. Now the
the one-
Turtles have
it's the
dealt
one-
with the uber sci-fi
The one
elements in
thing
cartoons
of
and
the
movies
movie
before.
that I remember the most.
Just look at
that
both animated
awesome
series
fight
from 87 and
scene between those two.
2003,
Yeah.
and Ninja Turtles 3, to name but a few. I don't think fans
Also,
were
to
accustomed
answer
to the
what Mikey
idea of
do,
seeing
aside being
immortal
a-
warlords in a Ninja
Be
Turtles
a
movie.
kid entertainer.
Although, considering
be
there
an
has been a
he would be
crossover with
anonymous
Batman, then
in
at some
owning
point their
a
minds will be
weed
blown when they
dispensary.
come across Vandal
Hmm.
Savage. What I
You know
find
he would- you know he'd
rewarding
do it.
about the writing
Mm.
regarding Winters is that the true intentions of
every
this
turtle-
character
every
are not
turtle,
revealed
he-
until the end.
He has the
As you
munchies.
go through the
True.
majority of this movie, thinking
He would
he
add-
has
he would add weed to
antagonistic
pizza.
plans
I
with
can
the
see it.
acquisition of the monsters that were set loose 3,000 years ago. But you get hit with a twist when it's his desire to send them back and be freed of his curse of immortality, which plays into the themes of humanity and atonement. He appreciated his humanity being restored and correcting his ancient mistake. The
Trying
other
to get a
major
perfect
theme
man
that he
like
valued from this
Patrick
was
Stewart
the
to voice
humility
Max
that
Winter.
Raphael
I know.
learned almost hurt Leo
That-
in the
that
fight,
voice,
into
man,
him
is
losing him to the Stone
just-
Soldiers and why
It melts
Splinter
in your
had
mouth.
chosen Leo
I know what I
over
said, but you
him
know it's true.
as the leader. But to be fair to Raph, he does prove himself to be a good leader in the assault on Winter's estate and freeing Leo. I did enjoy the nods to the previous movies on the shelf when Raph decides to retire the Night Watcher role by placing his helmet on the shelf next to Shredder's helmet, the TGRI capsule, and the Time Scepter. Along with Casey's
And I thought Girl Scouts were pushy.
was
Yep.
a nod to Mikey's
And I thought insurance salesmen were pushy.
and
2 minutes for high sticking.
as a callback to Mateus's line
Robbie
from
Red.
the first movie. That's fan service done right. To sum it all up, the arcs of the brothers and their resolve are the driving points of this movie that make for good rewatch value, whereas the other elements just come across as out of left field if you view it the first time. I got the impression that Taylor's portrayal as Leo is much more by
Bread
the
and butter.
book when compared to previous incarnations. The Brian Tockey version still had the disciplines of a leader, but he knew how to have more of a sense of humor, whereas Taylor's came across as more of a straight arrow, and really cared about not disappointing Splinter as he valued his approval as his son and his student. I was surprised to hear the voice that Nolan gave Raph in this, considering he did a decent impression of Rob Paulson's Raphael in 2006's The Ultimate Avengers as Hank Pym.
One of the most god-tier
Nolan's
voice
take on
actors
Raph is a very
voicing the
gruff, rough around the edges performance, not
Toughest-
too dissimilar from how he had been
surprised-
portrayed in the
Go
live-action
ahead.
trilogy and the 2003
Wasn't the
animated
most
series.
toughest, but
This, I
most
feel, is probably
heartfelt
the most
character
rebellious
in
he had been, since
Turtle.
Nolan portrays this incarnation as a turtle with no compunction
ahead,
of
Kaiju.
dishing out punishment to criminals.
Surprised that
In
they're
an
actually
outfit
getting
that I can
professional
only
voice
presume
actors as
was
opposed to
inspired by
celebrity
Batman's
voice
outfit.
actors.
Yeah,
for
that
theatrical
fucking
movies.
bothers
The
me.
Dark
I'm like,
Knight Returns.
dude, just
Mikey's take
how
on
hard is it to
Mikey
hire
almost
someone
feels
else who
like a
knows what the hell they're
background
doing
character,
instead of an
since he's the
actor that
turtle
you
with
have
the
to
least
teach
amount
to
of
know what they're
dialogue.
doing?
In almost
But
every version of the Turtles,
Do people
Michelangelo
know
is the
who they
least
are
changed
though?
brother.
Do mainstream audiences
Yeah.
know who
That's a
who
fair
they are?
point.
Taking
That's a
things
point.
the least
Yeah,
serious.
you're right.
I actually had a
Pretty much most
conversation with
portrayals
some of
of
my
Donnie has
students
him as the
about
voice of
the
reason,
comparison
and
between
here is
how
no different.
voice
Mitchell has
actors
a
are viewed in
very
America
similar
compared
pitch
to
and
how they're
cadence
treated
to
in
his voice
Japan.
as that of Barry Gordon from the
Where
87
in
series.
Japan, voice
That
actors
works well, since
are
Donnie has been known to be
are
somewhat
far more
softer
popular
spoken
than they
compared to
are
his
generally
brothers,
in
with
America.
Mikey being the loudest.
Whereas in
With no
America, unless
explanation.
you're like a
Shit-eating grin.
fan of
Honestly, I think
animation,
any performance
you
that
would know
Gemma
who
walks
like
into,
Tara
she's
Strong
able
and
to
Nolan
distinguish
North are,
herself from
whereas
her other performances,
majority
such
of
as
people
Buffy the
don't have never
Vampire
heard those
Slayer
names
and I Know
before.
What You Did Last Summer and Scooby-Doo.
Okay, so this
But
is
at
probably
same
the closest to
time,
a
she's able to
celebrity
bring her
voice
charming
actor.
voice to where it's still
And it's your
her,
girl, Liz.
but she's able to make
Yes!
this take of April her own. And that's difficult to do considering the legacy that Renee Jacobs, Judith Hoag, and Paige Turner
No idea that she did
left on
that she did the
fandom.
voice.
Elias
Yeah,
Koteas
she
is a
did.
tough act
Yeah.
to follow as Casey
Hmm.
Jones, and I think this is what Chris Evans does
Ooh.
Oh
well.
shit! Captain America?
Yeah.
Yep.
What?
Elias
Yeah,
did.
yeah, he did do
Instead,
this. I remember.
just
What
plays
the
it his
fuck?
way with a natural and likable charm that only Evans can do.
Why have I
Same
got an
charm that
image
gave
of
a
him
decent
holding,
performance as
of
Johnny
Casey
Storm,
holding Captain
and
America's
one
shield
probably
while
even more
partly being
so
on
as the
fire.
virtuous Steve Rogers in 2011's Captain America: The First Avenger. What is there to say?
And maybe
Whether it's
whatever
Professor X in
whatever
X-Men
jacket he was
or
wearing
being
in
Captain Jean-Luc Picard of USS
Scott Pilgrim
Enterprise,
versus the
Andrew
World.
just shines in any role. This is not a role you would automatically think that he would take, considering the very credible work he did as a Shakespearean-trained actor, with stage productions from Hamlet, King Lear, and A Midsummer Night's
I also
Dream,
find it weird
to
that
name but a
Zhang
few.
Yi,
But
the
he
one who
has admitted in
person who voiced
interviews that he is a
Karai.
goofball and does not
Okay,
remotely take
here's the
himself
deal.
seriously.
Zhang is Chinese,
Especially
while Karai is Japanese, so that
in
was
recent years
pretty
promoting his
crazy.
all-time favorite cowboy song.
Oh my
performing to a
God.
green screen.
So,
fuck is
in
this?
that respect, despite those contrasting aspects, he gives a great
How do they want
performance
to
Okay.
check
as
that out
Winters.
later?
Yeah, I'm
This
gonna
is
do
a
that
character
later.
whose layers get peeled away as the
I need
movie
some brain
progresses,
bleach,
where
please.
he's not
He did
what
it
you
for
think he
charity.
is until the last act of the
Honestly,
movie.
Come on.
honestly,
This is a character who
this
has come
is-
to realize
honestly,
the
this
mistake he
reminds me
made
of a
eons
character he
ago in
voiced in
opening the
American
portal
Dad,
that would
Bullock.
grant him
He would do this.
immortality.
So.
But
Yeah,
at
he
the same
kind of would.
time, bringing a plague of monsters
Agent-
into the world.
Bullock?
This
Yes.
is
Yeah,
atonement.
Bullock from American
And
Dad.
Patrick gives a performance where he plays a character looking for said atonement and adding that touch of class in his voice, as only he can do.
Make it so.
This is bittersweet. What would be Mako's final performance is where he passed away during the making of the movie, of which
Mako.
the latter
Mm.
of Splinter's lines would have to be mimicked by Greg Baldwin, of which he was not credited for. And considering how good the mimic was, you don't really notice a difference. I think the animation has a very stylized look in which the look of the characters being somewhat caricature suits the quirkiness of the characters in that you can have the suspension of disbelief with these fantasy elements of monsters and immortal stone warriors. If the writing had been crafted in a similar realistic tone of the earlier movies, then yeah, the animation for this would have been seen as
I
jarring
will
in that the
agree
style would
the
not fit the
whole,
tone of
you
what it
know,
was
the
looking
whole
to do.
Stone Warrior storyline.
Now, I
It
am not
kinda
for a
sorta
moment
was
saying
a
that this flick is
distraction
campy and
on
light-hearted.
the regular
Nothing could be
story
further
with
from the truth. Because the tone is considerably
the reunion of
darker
the
and
brothers
more
itself.
mature than the live-action.
It kind of feels
trilogy, in
like
which
it
deals
comes
with
out
the
of like a
themes
random
family
episode of an
being
ongoing
separated
TV
and then
series
reuniting Yeah.
than
tension in
a
the ranks
legit
of the
movie
team.
plot.
In that same
basically it's
context,
like filler.
I doubt you could tell the story
Like
of
what?
the tension between Rat
Filler,
and
yes,
Leo
yes. It feels
in
like a
the
filler.
style of the
The
animated
the
series. Maybe in
the A
2003
plot with the
series,
Stone
but
Warriors and
even
monsters
then,
feels like a
that
filler
tension would be
filler
tamed
episode,
the
while
moment
all
where
the
Raph almost
the
kills his
interpersonal
brother,
drama stuff
and
that
then
feels
being
like that should have been
overcome
like
with
the
guilt,
real movie
realizing
there.
what his anger could have done. When you have the lesson that your own anger can be your worst enemy, is not something you could tell in a kids show by sugarcoating it.
At least I don't think so.
In that context, this is probably the darkest the franchise had been by that point. So, the animation at first glance doesn't seem like something you would associate with a more mature Ninja Turtle movie
the first
setting.
one was
But
dark.
when you watch
Most
the
definitely.
characters and see the story unfold, the animation complements it. And it has to be said, this is some of the best animation with regards to lighting, contrast, and shading, particularly with buildings, streetlights, forest foliage, and just
Magi
the way
Studios
Leo's
was
eyes
very
stand out in the
underrated.
dark.
With between this and the Astro Boy movie.
Klaus Badelt composed the
Yeah.
score for this picture, and
I really wish-
does a satisfying job
yeah.
of complementing the
Yeah, the
movie's tone.
We're all familiar with the scores that
wasn't
John Dewey
bad.
composed for the
Nah,
live-action
nah.
trilogy, and
It was
it's
a
something
I
little
wish
we
that-
look
Americanized,
back on
but
with
the
fond
story,
regard.
but the
The
story
score for
itself
this movie is a different
kinda
animal.
paid homage
Whereas
to
the
the
original was
anime.
reflecting the type of scores from the late 80s, early 90s that had
I really do
upbeat
wish
mix
that
of
they
rock and
would have
roll
gone
and
ahead and made that
electronic beats.
Tetsugen 28
This has a much
/ Gigantor
darker and
movie.
raw feel. Especially
That
when
was-
you
that
listen
was-
to the
that was the
pieces
thing?
where the Stone Warriors are capturing
Oh yeah,
monsters
perhaps
around
after
the
this I
city
can
and
show
to
you the
the
trailer,
astounding score that is used.
the
Raphael
proof of
faces
concept
Leonardo
trailer.
in a showdown on the rooftops to where the music adds to the tension
Gigantor,
between the dueling
Gigantor was
brothers.
before my time,
Probably my
but like
fave piece is
when I
when
was
It was
younger,
before all our
focus
times,
on what
buddy.
Raph has been doing
I
in
know,
his
I
absence
know,
as the
but
nighttime
when I
vigilante,
saw it on Adult Swim
Nightwatcher,
all those years ago,
and
I was
going
like,
around
yo,
the
this
city
is
as this
cool.
Batman-style
Oh yeah.
crime fighter.
In that,
and the
in that
score
case, if you
just
think that's
adds to
dope,
the
I
humor
highly
of the
recommend the
scene in which he chases
2004
down
remake.
criminals. The movie grossed a profit of $95 million against a budget of $34 million. Adjusted for inflation, and the movie would be worth $121 million. It received mixed reception from the likes of USA Today and IGN. USA Today cited it as boring, whereas IGN praised it for its visuals and sound design. The Philadelphia Inquirer reported that the movie had a very noirish sheen to it, where it's so no scary that the kids don't have to hide away, but at the same time would
Noir.
please longtime fans and bring in a new audience as well. There were hints of a possible sequel at the end, to where Karai said that they would have further dealings in the future, including familiar faces from your past, of which Raphael presumed they meant the Shredder. There were
Yeah.
2 sequels planned by director
Yeah.
Kevin Monroe that would have seen an adaptation of the comic book saga City of
Okay.
War, and the third movie would have seen another time travel story
it.
and the introduction of the
Sorry about that,
Technodrome.
guys. Had some
Monroe never
fine.
got the
IRL
chance to
stuff
follow
do.
up on his plans to make the
Worries.
sequels, as he got into work for Gotcha Man, and Mirage announced on the 25th anniversary that there would be a new live-action movie for 2011. Before Viacom acquired the rights, of which led to the Michael Bay-produced live-action animation hybrid series in 2014's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. TMNT remains one of those
Is it mirrored?
unique
Does it
and
seem like
interesting
everyone's
takes on
already
the
forgotten
franchise
about
of what
those
could have
turtles?
been
I feel like
Yeah.
that.
sequels
They
before
have.
they take shape.
Nobody
Even
talks
though-
about
TMNT
them.
has been enjoyed
Even
on
though the movies
DVD,
themselves
HD
aren't bad, especially
DVD,
the second
and
one.
Blu-ray since 2007.
Never saw the second one.
The second
I'm
one
MJ Knight,
tried at
and we
least.
went
Yeah.
back to the sewers
Yeah, they did.
for
Especially with the
TMNT.
nostalgia. Which is not bad, but, you know, a lot of people use nostalgia as a crutch.
Has
Hmm.
this held up since 2000? Do I know what I'm doing? Absolutely not. One of the major key themes about this movie is family. I don't need turtles. I got family.
It's a
Kind you also aside.
it's
Oh
about
my
family.
God.
Go to TMNT
It's about
from Fast and the
family.
Furious.
How did I not know you were gonna go
Fast
Vin Diesel on
9.
it?
Turtle
family
racers.
Oh my god.
I don't need common
Oh my
sense.
God.
I got turtles. And Mikey's like, and you think
Oh
I'm
god,
nuts.
imagine they're gonna do that. They're gonna do
Pretty
that.
much most portrayals of Donnie has him as the voice of reason, and here is no different. He also likes to have a finger that looks like a gun. 00 Donnie. Dead end. Dead end. Donnie Bond. Pizza.
The Rob
Pepperoni.
Paulson version would do this.
No anchovies. Dun 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 dun.
Oh
dun,
my
dun,
God.
dun, dun. Like, Brandon's
my
like, why do I secretly want this? Okay, that's actually not bad. Whoever's looking at the bloopers,
Yes.
I want
Yes,
a parody
you're right.
picture
I
of
might- I think you're
00 Donnie. Pizza. Pepperoni, no mushroom. Make it so. With a cup of Earl Grey. Hot.
Radical.
Oh no!
Great review.
Return of the Ninja Kaijus.
Yeah. Kinda got that with Snake Turtle.
Yeah.
Kaiju.
Yeah. Also, apparently, each of those monsters that they were collecting are all based off of popular cryptids, like
Oh.
Bigfoot and the Jersey Devil.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Not aware of
I
that.
think one of the Stone Generals as well was voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He's definitely got a very
That
distinct voice.
Yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Just looking up getting some videos ready. Actually, like, also, I do remember, I think Magi Studios also pitched a Legend of Zelda
Ooh.
animated project. Let me see if I can find that. Magi Studios.
That was great.
Mhm.
Like so many of the things that never see the light of day, so many good ideas, and not one of them was made.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that Andy Tartakovsky pop movie.
Oh god, yeah, I still weep for that lost project.
Damn.
Let's see.
Oh, speaking of that Lost project, I did check out a little bit of your review of Symbiotic Titan, and I will agree.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Oh, I did check out some of your video of reviewing Symbiotic Titan.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, I definitely agree that it came out at a time that no one was really watching Cartoon Network, especially
Mhm.
when they went full-blown live action.
Mhm.
I feel like if it would have came later years when I guess Toonami would come back, I think that would definitely get more traction. Kind of like nowadays with Primal.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. If it came out at a different time on a different platform like Adult Swim, or even on streaming, it would have definitely found its audience much better, or much more easily. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, on February 5th, 2010, following the box office failure of Astro Boy, Magi Studios, Animation Studios, closed its doors for good until it was removed. So yeah, Magi Studios they had a Gatchaman movie that was canceled. That was for 2011. That was canceled. Gigantor movie for 2012 canceled. Legend of Zelda, which was pitched and obviously rejected. And some other 3 more projects, including an Astro Boy 2.
Damn.
So, oh god, they even made that Father of the Pride primetime animated series. If anyone, probably no one remembers that. The one with the white tigers. The white tigers from what are those 2 guys from Vegas called?
Siegfried and Roy.
Siegfried and Roy. Thank you. Yeah. I'm looking at what other films they've done. So they did TMNT, they did Astro Boy, they did a thing called Highlander: The Search for Vengeance.
Yeah, that was the thing.
I had no idea there was another animated Highlander project, and something called Digital Monster X. Oh, okay, I guess Digimon X Evolution. So that might be like one of the 2 CGI Digimon shorts.
I think that was one of the.
Oh yeah, I
CGI
definitely
movies.
remember that Highlander anime movie.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what they did. They did Highlander, Digimon, TMNT, and Astro Boy. So they only got really and Father of the Pride, and another series from Bandai called Zentrix, which I have no idea what this is, and I've never seen it before. It's apparently okay. That's why it's a Hong Kong animated series. I guess. I don't know. But yeah, called Zentrix. Anyways, I did find the concept trailers for Gigantor and Zelda. If you guys want to check them out together.
Sure.
Oh,
Sure.
yeah, I'm down.
Right. It's in both pitches are in a very weird format. So apparently, I guess I can only assume they were made to be in this really awkward widescreen deal. And I know Steve said he'd be RB, but are you back, Steve?
Yeah, I am. I'm here.
Okay, cool. So just let me know when everyone is ready.
I'm at 0.
Zero.
Me too.
Yeah. So anyone else besides Raiden know about Gigantor?
I do. Because I remember
no.
the new Gigantor series that they had. What was it? 80s or early 90s?
Right. It was the 80s. It was the 1980 remake.
It's one where the kid has control of it, and he's always around in like this little hoverbike contraption.
Was it all
Right,
black
right.
and white?
The OG Gigantor is black and white. The new New Adventures of Gigantor was in color.
Okay.
Gigantor.
Bigger than big, stronger than strong, ready to fight for right against wrong. Yeah, so this is their attempt at making Gigantor, or as it's known in Japan, Tetsujin 28.
Oh.
So get ready to press play in 3, 2, 1, go. From the creators of the TMNT movie.
Nice.
Okay, so far so good.
So it's you
Whoa.
Father's been working on for all these years.
Getting a slight Final Fantasy vibe with the animation style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still keeping things retro with the robots.
Nice to meet you.
It's definitely got the OG Gigantor look.
Mm-hmm.
What terror really means.
There's Black Ox.
Gigantor, aka Iron Giant's long distance cousin.
Oh yeah. Oh, this guy was the OG Iron Giant.
It says what terror's going to be really like. He's like to show you what terror's really like. Why, Freeberg and Seltzer making another movie?
Ah! No!
I shall destroy.
I won't let you do this.
T28.
Okay, that's pretty. No!
That's annoying that it never came to be.
Yeah.
I know. I would have watched this in a heartbeat.
And let's see. And here is the link for the Zelda short. This one's a bit longer. And this one does cut off abruptly, so I'm assuming that's how it was made as. So let me know when you're at 0-0 here.
There you go.
Okay.
I have to sit through an ad. Give me a sec.
Gotcha.
And
Let me just.
I'm at 0.
And
You
a
just-
Taco
okay.
Bell. Hold on.
Me too.
Hey, Poker, I'm not buying your game.
And
I got an ad for a dentist firm.
I got an ad for Taco Bell with their
But
nachos.
Lids, was your
I-
appointment? But Lids, was your
I got
appointment? But Lids, was your appointment at Tooth Hurty?
Ah!
Ain't that-
No!
I got a rock.
Ain't that the tooth?
Ah.
Fuck you.
It was a big rock.
All right. Now everybody ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1, go. Let's see, according to this video file is from Wednesday, March 28th, 2007. So this is like, yeah, a year after. This is a year after Twilight Princess came out. It really looks like Twilight Princess.
And this was the month that TMNT was actually released.
They were
Yeah.
working.
Yeah, why does it got trapped in Zelda? Was like popular for years. I mean, yeah, I haven't played the game since the N64 days, but you know, I'm a kind of sort of fan of it. So this would have been great to check out.
Wait a minute.
Raptors?
I was about to say,
Wait a minute.
Link, he come to town. At least this is traditional Link and not the animated series version.
Oh, no, no.
Well, excuse me, princess.
Oh, none of that. Shame on you.
Master Sword, aka Best Sword.
I would have watched this.
I wanted more.
I want more.
Gimme.
Too bad, because the Magi Studios is now dead. Because none of you watched the. Because again, it's all your fault for not watching the Astro Boy movie.
It's okay, it's our fault.
Again.
All right, and yeah.
Again, this just shows you, as Kaiju said, this just shows you how underrated Imagi Studios were.
Yeah. I'm just gonna see how long did they lasted. Let's.
Because
So I know they died.
Because TMNT was like the first movie that they worked on.
Okay, so it started in the studio was started in 2000 and closed its doors in 2010. So yeah, it lasted a good 10 years.
2010. Yikes.
Yeah, let's see here. Magi's auditing firm announced the studios lacked funding to complete the release of Cattail, which was to have been released by MGM, and Gatchaman and art director Felix Ip reported that Gatchaman's release was not expected until later 2009. 2009, Imagi opened Gatchaman to licensing partners and announced a 3D theatrical release for 2011. Blah, 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 blah. Box office failure. January 2010, Imagi's Hong Kong-based parent company announced that the Gatchaman project will be delivered in 100% stereoscopic 3D. Oh yeah, back when 3D used to be the big thing after Avatar. This was 1 year after Avatar, so everyone was jumping on the bandwagon. Yeah. And that in order to safeguard...
He just said it right there. Said that we don't get nice things.
Yeah. But yeah, they had big plans, but unfortunately they just they were just kind of dealt a shitty hand in the business realm, and yeah, they were very ambitious. I'll give them that, but unfortunately, I guess what they brought to the table, folks weren't interested in. And the last video I wanted to share with you guys, this is for Raiden especially, is the opening to the 2004 remake of Tetsujin / Gigantor.
Okay.
And what's really cool is that this goes like, it doesn't try to modernize Gigantor in any way. It just goes hardcore retro art style, 1960s art style, and it takes place in the original setting that the manga and anime took place in. So it's like it takes place in post World War II Japan.
Okay.
And for any G Gundam fans out there, it's from the same director as G Gundam.
I'm just waiting for the
same director.
I'm just waiting for the ad to finish up.
Sure.
Yeah.
I got a WWE collection, WWE Elite collection, aka their action figure line, which I have a lot of now.
Cool.
Okay, I'm at 0.
Same.
All right.
Still waiting for
What?
the advert to go away.
Okay.
Daily Motion's known for that.
Yeah.
Go away, Discovery Plus. I'm not interested.
Is that a new streaming service?
Yeah, presumably because they had it advertised for Apple's and Android devices.
Okay.
Okay, add 00.
All right. So from the director of G Gundam, this is Tetsujin 28, 2004. In 3, 2, 1, go.
That hellstorm we talked about last week.
But the thing that annoyed Lydia in particular, they said they're going with a Latin X perspective, as in.
Apparently, it's pronounced Latinx.
Oh, Latinx.
And of course that pissed off Lydia.
Don't pander to me. Don't do that.
So wait. So you're making short circuit with a female with a Latina actress. That's what they want to do.
Yeah.
They want the.
I mean, okay. So I think it's fair to say that the race of the main protagonist of Short Circuit never really mattered. So like you could just make the character any race you want, and that's not going to affect the story. I think it's safe to say. I'm wondering why exactly did you need to? I know this is not so much. I do wonder if this is like a press circuit thing, or if this is something that the original article created, where it's like they heavily enforce the fact that, hey, look, she's Latina. And also, I really want to be sensitive here. But I don't understand why they label the actress as Latinx when she's clearly female. So wouldn't Latina work in this case?
Yeah,
because I get it. I get. The funny thing is, like, Lydia, as a fellow Mexican here, please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong here.
Okay.
Is it me, or is the term Latinx more of a white person thing?
Seems that way.
To be fair, it does sound like that. Funny thing, I remember watching this Netflix show, Gabriel Iglesias, when he plays his teacher. This is one Latina chick who wants to basically make the Latinx word a thing. So, and to be fair, it does sound like a white thing.
Yeah, it kind of does.
It's like when they try. It's like when they tried to make fetch a thing in Mean Girls. Stop trying to make fetch a thing. Or Raiden's personal pet hate, Fleek.
What the hell is a Fleek?
I have no idea.
I'm kind of glad that term is dead nowadays.
Is that a creepy sex pervert thing?
I hate it.
Probably, I don't know.
So it's like the term Latinx. I'm sorry to go off on a little tangent about this word, but it's something that's sort of been on my.
For it.
It's something that I've seen pop up by non-Latino individuals on Facebook and other forms of social media, and I kept thinking, Latinx? What the hell is that? It's like I've never heard of it before.
Latinx. It kind of does.
Right, but so like I asked like the people who were using that term, it's like, what is that word? And they say, oh, it's the gender neutral version of Latinos, Latina. It's like, but we don't need a gender neutral version of Latino, Latina. I mean, normally we just default to Latino for if we want to be gender neutral. Heck, when we have a crowd of people, of boys and girls, we refer to that as Latino. That's like we automatically default to the male version. And I'm assuming that in the minds of maybe white people, that's considered sexist to default to the male version for gender neutral pronouns. So I guess they created Latinx, but it's like then I started trying to dig deeper into Latinx, and I can understand where it would be useful, where if we have individuals who happen to be non-binary and they do not or even gender fluid individuals who do not wish to identify themselves as Latino, Latina, I can understand its use there. But it's like to refer to everybody as Latinx as opposed to just going with Latinos, which is what I've always grown up with.
I'm not laughing at
feels...
I'm not laughing at what
What's
you've
that?
just said. I'm just what you've just said because Crooked Law Productions says, and I quote, "I still believe it's Mexican laxative."
Oh, you cheeky fuck you. And what's that? Der Old Trekkie says, and that's where the problem is. You say, okay, we say Latino, even if there are women in there. Yeah, that is what we do. If we have a group of men and women, we automatically default to Latinos. And like, if we refer to something of Latin origin, we say we also default to Latino. Latino music, Latino food, Latino countries, Latino people. We always default that's how generally how Spanish works. I mean, even as someone like me whose Spanish is shit, I at least understand the basic. I have the basic knowledge that that's just how Spanish works. Spanish as it is what we would call a gendered language where everything has a gender. It doesn't make sense, but if you speak Spanish, it does. So it's like to create Latinx, you're essentially going against the rules of Spanish. So it's like I honestly don't think that word is ever going to be picked up by the Latino community. Just because I feel like you're asking too much of them for something that would fundamentally change the entire language. Because you can't just stop at Latinx. You're going to have to create gender neutral versions of every single noun in the book. Like, you have hermano, hermana. So do we need to make hermanex? El profesor, la profesora, el profesorex? What was it? Cousin. We have primo, prima, primex?
Oh, that sounds dirty. That sounds dirty.
Or abuelo, abuela, abuelex? I don't know. It's like
God, no.
It's like, and I know that there's. It just feels like maybe I'm over. It's very possible I'm overthinking this, but I feel like it's kind of pointless. It's weird. I feel so conflicted about it because I see where it can be useful, but the thing is, from what I see, I've asked my family about this. I've asked other people about this, and it seems like pretty much nobody of who are actual Latinos and Latinas actually use this term, and that's what I find so bizarre about it. It's supposed to be a word aimed at I don't want to say aimed at us, because again, I don't know if it's meant to be aimed at Latinos in general or specifically the non-binary gender fluid crowd.
So
yeah.
In conclusion, Latinx is the equivalent of white ebonics.
What, dare I ask what white ebonics are?
Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, the one with Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes, I think.
Oh.
Has to be said, I thought
movie. Watch that movie, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Really? Okay.
It has to be said, though, I liked the concept and the idea of taking that story, setting it in modern day times, but still speaking with Shakespearean tongue. I thought that was intriguing.
That I did like, yeah.
Yeah. But I guess at the end of the day, maybe I probably most likely am just overthinking this, and it's like, if you want to use Latinx, fine, go ahead. Me personally, I'm just gonna stick to Latino, Latina, because that's just what I've grown up with, and that's just like part of my own personal culture. But in terms of whether or not it's gonna catch on, I feel like this is probably just gonna stick to an internet thing, because not even like pretty much, this is, like I said, this feels pretty much like a white person sort of deal, and I like I know for a fact that nobody outside of America even uses that term.
Yeah.
So it's just sort of weird, you know. It just sort of popped up out of nowhere. It's like, should I?
literally heard about it last week. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
And then so I'm like, should I, as a Latino, be aware of this? Is this important for me? Because I feel like it kind. Does it affect me? Does it not?
Like, I should feel offended, but I'm just confused.
It's like, should I be offended? Should I not?
You know, I almost should be offended. Arrgh!
Or it's like, what happens if, like, in the future, I refer to my people as Latinos? Am I suddenly gonna get shit for calling my people Latinos instead of Latinxes or Latinx?
Crooked Law is just saying, some say Latino, some say Latinx, I say Kaiju Noir.
The real universal language.
Yes, always. So I can at least say I'm at least glad that I'm not the only one, Lydia, who feels confused about this. But
I was offended, but now I'm just confused.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just more of offended based on a language deal, because I'm like, that's not how Spanish works. I'm like Harrison Ford, that's not how the Force works.
Pretty much. It's like, how about we not do that?
Also, isn't that sort of culturally offensive, saying like, oh, your language is problematic, so we're gonna change it for you?
Pardon?
But again,
dude, how about no?
But again, it's like I feel like it comes down to you do you, I do me, and if we mind each other's business, perfectly okay. If you want to say, like I said, you want to say Latinx, go right ahead. You do,
I do me, and we won't do each other. Probably.
Wait, no, that's the thing. No, yeah, Liz, we don't do each other. That's the point.
I was gonna say, Liz, where are you going with this?
No,
besides,
and
besides,
yeah, I remember that quote.
And besides, that'll make Oni jealous. Liz, what's going on?
Right, that's what he said. You do you, I do me, and then we won't do each other.
Probably. And everyone will be happy.
It's like Sean.
Anyway, stupid, pointless tangent over.
It's like Sean Retro said earlier. Shouldn't Short Circuit be about Johnny Five?
It is, but you got to throw a main human character in there to be relatable with the audience, because
gotta throw an Alex Beatty on there.
Yeah, like my thought process is that you cannot make unless you're Wall-E, you can't make a movie that's solely focused on robots or anything that's non-human, because you got to have something that mainstream audiences can relate to. And we had a female best friend character for Johnny Five in Short Circuit 1, and by Short Circuit 2 we had the fake Indian guy.
Oh, the fake Indian guy.
That wouldn't fly today.
Hey, honey, what's for dinner?
Oh, that still hurts.
Yeah, Trekkie, apparently Spyglass Media are looking to remake the original Short Circuit, and I have to question why, because, alright, if you look at some of the, I mean, to be fair, I think the special effects for the first movie hold up. I mean, right, it's not anything to write home about, but at the same time, it's not something I would critically pan. I mean, it does what it's supposed to. I probably prefer... It's going to be a reboot. I probably prefer the second movie more, only because it got to expand Johnny Five's character a lot more, whereas the first movie, he's essentially being born, whereas the second movie, he's kind of cut loose, and I find it's just such an interesting dynamic with the character and Michael McKean's character Fred, where Fred's like the ultimate con man, and you have a robot with human intelligence, but it's just this wonderful naivete playing against somebody who let's put it this way, he'd probably sell out his own mother if he had the chance. Trek is asking, do we have a cast? Not currently. Not that I'm aware of.
Also, the second one, didn't that feature the best street gang ever?
Los locos kick your ass.
Los locos kick your face. Los locos kick your balls into outer space. Number 25, you come over here right now. I'll clean you up and then wash your mouth out with soap. All right? That fucking movie, man.
Yeah. The funny thing is, like, I think, like you, as a kid, like, I grew up on Short Circuit 1 and 2 on VHS, and so I probably watched 2 more than 1, only because 2 felt more lighthearted in comparison to Short Circuit 1. That one felt more like, felt like it had more dramatic weight to it, whereas number 2 felt more lighthearted with Johnny Five interacting with the expanded world that is New York City. Although Short Circuit 2 definitely did had its moments of darkness, like that point where he almost dies, and it's like, shit, man.
I have to say, even when I go back to
Oscar, please.
I have to be a lighthearted movie. What are you doing?
I have to say, whenever I go back to watch that scene is so difficult to watch, especially with the music of, where he, he's getting his ass kicked, and then he's having the remote control to take control of the planes, just to have one remote control plane literally land, I'm not making this up, folks, lands directly in one of the thugs' asses. It's like, I was like, oh, you ain't sitting down for legit, Raiden. This is what happened. Courtesy of his new universal remote control that he has in his head, because they're literally trying to hack him to pieces, he takes control of a nearby remote control plane, has it come to his location, and just when they think they're about to get...
I remember that now, yeah.
He has the plane zoom in on one of the criminals, and it literally lands in his ass.
Oh my god.
Ouch.
And the parts where because his voice box has been damaged in the assault, it's when you have this very slow piano piece and you see him very slowly trying to pull himself up and literally picking his arm up, and of all people it's Fred that saves him. But I thought that was a nice character building moment for the pair of them. It was like,
yeah. People, people may criticize it for being like a little all over the place with its tone, but I genuinely loved that scene as a kid. It's like, well, not loved it. I was still horrified by it, but looking back on it, yeah, that was a really effective scene.
And the point where they're literally in Radio Shack, trying to, get pieces just to get him to speak again and just be able to get his main battery repowered up with, Fred, who's got no experience whatsoever with robotics or engineering, and he's literally learning this on the job, trying to save, his friend's life. And as to be said, the other scene that's kind of hard to watch is where Oscar's been, is down and out for the count, but set to the background of Bonnie Tyler's holding out for a hero, which I thought, okay,
I remember that.
Little over the top, but it works for the context. And
hey, it's Short Circuit. What do you expect?
touche. But it's the scene where, because his main battery's about to go, and you see Ben literally taking a defibrillator to his battery, and it's just like, oh, this just got dark real quickly. But I'm really disappointed that they didn't go for a third movie, because it would have been interesting just to see what could have happened, because at the end of Short Circuit 2, Johnny gets what he was looking for. He was looking to be validated as an entity, as a citizen.
Yeah.
And I thought that was quite uplifting.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, where do you go from there at that point? He got what he wanted.
Although from what I hear, for the reboot, they are looking to get the original voice actor to come back.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like that's kind of appropriate in the same vein of when they were looking to get the voice actor for Optimus Prime. Now, originally, Michael Bay wanted George Clooney as Optimus Prime, and he says, "I don't want this."
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, this actually happened. He wanted Clooney as Prime, and said, and I quote, "I don't want some nobody voicing my main character." The fans heard about it. They were pissed.
Blasphemy!
Like, here's an article. Here's an article from 2005. Let's see. Here you go. Going back in time.
Yep.
Hey, hold up.
Let's
the
see.
voices cried out in anger.
Meanwhile, according to an AICN scooper, Michael Bay was approached after an early test screening of The Island that was done for DreamWorks' bigwigs and was asked about the Transformers movie. At the end, the crowd gave a somewhat polite applause. Afterwards, I shook Bay's hand in the theater and asked him about Transformers. He said that the studio, DreamWorks, was still working on the script, but he was indeed involved. He hopes to start shooting early next year, and that the voices won't be the original cast from the old cartoon, but different voices. Bummer, he wants a fresh approach to the Transformers. Let's see.
Yeah.
See, Michael Bay. This is why you're universally hated.
This is why nobody likes you.
Sean Retro's just said the fans' rage would be at 1,000,000%.
It would be. I mean, the Simpsons movie and the Transformers movie came out the same year,
See you,
so
Trekkie.
basically take the mob scene from that Simpsons movie and then put it to Michael Bay's house, and then you'll.
Or the mob scene from Family Guy where it's Peter Griffin versus the Million Man March.
Oh God. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Take care, old Trekkie. He says he's got to go again.
Yeah.
Live long and prosper.
Peace out, Trekkie.
Take it easy.
The funny thing is, like, the funny thing is going back to like what I mentioned before about how voice actors are treated in America compared to Japan. Like, it feels like in Japan, once you're stuck to a role, you will always play that role regardless, pretty much up until you die. There will always, as long as Masako Nozawa is alive, she will always be there to play Goku, Gohan, Goten, and whatever other characters that she voices. And that's just one example.
I definitely heard Masako's voice. And how old is she now?
She's got
she's got to be in her 60s at least. Let me check.
Yeah, it's like
Masako.
Yeah.
Shit, she's 84.
Blimey.
She looks good for her age.
And
like
she
I
did.
said, no matter what age she gets, she'll always kills it with her iconic screams.
And also,
Yeah.
she did a far better job of voicing Goku Black as opposed to Sean Schemmel's version.
Yeah.
Subarashi.
I mean,
honestly, if anyone remembers, when Team Four Star did their little, well, they didn't really did full series of Dragon Ball Super, but Masako X's Goku Black was much better.
God.
Giddy tissues, giddy.
They're not black.
I just shared a photo that I think was really cool to share.
Holy shit! She's 80?
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn.
This be from Resurrection F.
Wow.
Along that, and you know who's that beside her? It's Sean Schimmel himself.
Yes. Unfortunately, we all know.
But yeah, that's the thing. You know, once you voice a character, you pretty much like it will always be like a guarantee. It's like a no-brainer that you will be hired again anytime that character comes back. Meanwhile, in America, we tend to swap voice actors all the time. So like, you know, there's been like so many instances of characters like Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, Ninja Turtles, Optimus Prime, Megatron. They're constantly being switched out, despite how iconic some of those voice actors or voices may be. And the thing is, it's like in America, most people for the most part, like the hardcore fans will know who Peter Cullen is, but like majority of mainstream people have no clue who the hell he is, nor do they have any clue that he's also the guy who happens to do the voice of Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh and other popular iconic characters like that. So it's like
also Car.
Wait, which Car?
Car.
Oh right, yeah.
Knight Rider.
Right. So it's
I think he's referring to Car the snake from the Jungle Book.
No,
right.
That would be Jim Cummings who voiced.
Right.
Who voiced modern voice of Car.
Right.
Also the badass narrator from OG Tsunami.
Right. So it's like in America you can afford studios can afford to swap out voice actors because I guess in their eyes they're probably far more disposable of an asset because they can switch out their voices and people for the most part just won't care about that. I mean, again, you'll have people outraged on Twitter and social media and whatnot, but they are still honestly a minority compared to that. Meanwhile, in Japan, if you try to switch out Masako for Goku, you know there'd be like a shitstorm and it'd be like a PR nightmare. So
boiling cauldrons of lead.
And yeah, that is the thing. Like, unfortunately for even for movies, like we have celebrity voice actors, and sadly enough, that's the only time people give a shit about who's voicing the characters if it's someone who's also an on-screen actor, and that sort of thing just does not happen in Japan, I think, for the most part. But it's a thing for us. So it's a very fascinating looking at the world of voice acting from both countries and how we have like two very different outlooks on the whole deal.
And considering how many roles that Frank Welker voices, not just in cartoons but in actual movies.
Yeah.
He
I will say though, and this is me being critically constructive, I could tell he was trying when he voiced Garfield in the Garfield show and the subsequent straight to DVD movies. But and Frank, should you ever hear this, I say this with the deepest respect and deepest love, I know you were trying, but you can never replace Lorenzo music. I'm sorry. I mean, you get some voice actors, the moment you hear them as those characters, like, that's it. That's perfect. I mean, like we mentioned with Peter Cullen, he is always going to be the most, quintessential Optimus Prime. Jaleel White, for a lot of people, is the most quintessential Sonic the Hedgehog. Rob Paulson is the most quintessential version of Raphael. And Lorenzo was the best true voice of Garfield. I know Bill Murray was kind of trying, but I think it's like a small bit of irony, because when Lorenzo was voicing Peter Venkman in The Real Ghostbusters during season 1, Bill Murray eventually caught wind of it and says, why does Peter Venkman sound like Garfield? And then some 20 years later, he ends up voicing Garfield himself.
How the wheel of fate turns.
Trouble is, he thought he was in a movie by the Coen brothers, but it was Cohen spelt differently, and he's like, crud. And here's the thing. I think the first Garfield movie gets unfairly crapped upon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not anything to write home about, but Garfield always has a very simplistic story. Cat, grouchy, lazy cat, loves lasagna, doesn't like Oni, doesn't like John trying to get interactions with Liz, and it just all repeats itself. But it's something we look forward to. Now, most people in here, I would probably say, know, the comic book story, because it's not really much of a story, because there's usually just 3 panels that were in the funnies pages in most newspapers. There is not one instance that I can think of where John actually got Liz. And also, I don't ever recall Liz being that likable. I mean, she had her moments, but she would always be brushing John off, and I know Breckenmeyer was trying, but he wasn't John Arbuckle. If anything, if they'd had a much younger Steve Martin playing John Arbuckle, that would work, because he can play, the clueless, absent-minded klutz.
Honestly, if it was up to me, I would probably get a young Elijah Wood to play John.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, that'd work.
My second choice would have been Jerry O'Connell, though.
Maybe.
Yeah. Is he the one? Wasn't he the one that was playing New 52 Superman?
Yes.
I thought he was playing New 52 Shazam.
Although.
Yeah, in the animated DC.
Although, if you recall, Jerry O'Connell was actually the guy who replaced the guy who was originally playing Superman in Justice League War, and actually, it was the guy who was playing King Candy and Turbo from Wreck-It Ralph.
Holy crap! Alan Tudyk?
Yep, Alan Tudyk was voicing Superman.
Ooh.
Yeah. And the biggest problem I had with that first New 52 movie, I'm watching it through and I'm like, wait a minute, this feels too much like Ultimate Avengers, where everyone's just being an asshole to each other with Green Lantern. Wow. Never thought I would hate you in that movie. It's like I wanted to smack him so hard because he was just being like the perfect asshole, which I suppose is supposed to be somewhat of the point, but ugh.
I'm like, dude, who do you think you are, Guy Gardner?
Okay, that reference escapes me.
He was also a Green Lantern in the comics, kind of an asshole.
Okay. I mean, I suppose for Raiden, we could use a comparison. That'd be like him running into Jazz from Fresh Prince being his most obnoxious and unlikable. It's just like, bruh, don't make me hit you.
Yeah. I mean, he's my loyal friend, but still, there are a lot of stupid decisions that I'm just like, bruh, do I have to backhand you?
And do I have to throw you out of the house again? I'm surprised in that reunion special they didn't try to throw him out just for old time's sake.
Yeah. I guess it was just being respectful, but
I have to admit though, so it's the look on his face sometimes in the episode when he wasn't even purposely trying to insult Philip or Vivian, and you could just see the look come over his face like, yep, he knows what's coming. Although the line I like is good, where it says, when do we eat? We eat here later. You eat here never. Well, it looks like you eat here. It looks like you eat here plenty. And then Will's just like, like, you shouldn't have said that.
Like, you know what's coming. Come on.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Never got dull though. Never got dull, and
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they're actually going to work that into the new Bel Air series that the Peacock actually bought 2 seasons of it, which I'm
Yeah.
absolutely astounded that they actually went ahead and said, "Yep, we want to turn this into a series." And the guy who made the trailer, he was just put it out as a concept, but you know, more power to him because that got to so many people. And it's just like an interesting idea of taking the basic DNA of the Fresh Prince, but putting a much more dramatic, serious approach on it. But you can still see the characters are still who they are, but you can tell it's been modernized and matured a lot.
Done in the right way.
All I'm going to ask of the show is, at some point, you got to have Will and Jazz, the OGs, make some cameos where you see new Will and Jazz doing a thing, and then the two of them just walks by and goes, "Doesn't this seem familiar to you?" Nah. just as a just as a wink to the fans saying like, we know what's going on. The only thing I noticed in that trailer, we saw a much more aggressive version of Carlton. We saw an up-to-date version of Phil, and I did notice this subtle nod to the fact that there were 2 actresses playing Vivian in that trailer. Saw Hillary, but there was no Ashley.
Oh, that's a good point.
Or they could just, get like, well, if they wanted to, they could get Tatiana Ali to play Hillary, because I don't know what that girl's taking, but I was watching Double Toasted's review of the reunion. Tatiana Ali, who's nearly 40, she looks like she's 20.
Yeah.
I don't know what that girl's taking, but come on, pass it around. Sharing is caring. And
also, Karen Parsons doesn't look too bad either.
No.
I remember seeing her. I remember seeing her in IG and her and Tatiana Lee recreating old school photos of themselves.
And same thing with Janet Huber. I mean, she looks good.
Oh yeah. You know what the old saying goes, black don't crack.
Yeah. I was gonna bring that up earlier.
And Joseph Marcel, he's aged well.
He's looking. I mean, even with the gray hair, he's looking very regal. He's always regal, but still.
And little thing I noticed when they were doing that small tribute piece to James Avery, when they have it come up on the screen, James Avery, 1945 to 2013. If you listen carefully, that's the same score piece that was used in the first Ninja Turtles movie after the Turtles gathered together to contact Splinter. With the campfire, that's the same piece.
Oh my god, that thing still gets me. Also, I know it's soft talk, but I wanted to give Mikey a hug. God damn it, it was quite his eyes.
I know. And it's like they said with Fresh Prince. It's a show that's of its time, but at the same time, you can play it to new audiences today, and so many people can find something relatable to it. I mean, alright, the only things that can't look dated is any time Will pulled out cellular telephones from around the early 90s, because they were huge things back then. But
also, there was that scene. There was a scene in Fresh Prince where he's playing Beast Wars figures.
Ooh.
I did like the fact in some episodes he goes, "I need to get home because Batman's," goes later, where Batman's going to be on the afternoon. It's like, wait, we'll watch the '60s series? Okay.
Also, for a lot of
Unless
comic
he's talking
fans.
about BTAS, which was out at the time.
True.
Also for a lot of comic fans, if you look in the pool house, he does own a couple of very old school Static Shock comics.
Oh wow, okay.
Oh.
That's really cool. Nice to see the dude supporting his local, black comic writer.
Yeah, Milestone Comics.
And I do remember, and occasionally he would bring up like video games, and I'm assuming that they were probably around like the Super Nintendo era.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if a Super Nintendo actually ever appeared in the show, though.
I also do love the little subtle like things that he would bring up, like he and that the kid who played the younger version of Nikki, where it's all like they were both in Independence Day, where he played the little boy, and he was Captain Stephen Hiller, and like I just love the scenes that they have.
Yeah, that was Nikki.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that was Nikki.
Yeah, he played Steve Hiller's stepson in that movie. And that movie came out, I think, either just after Fresh Prince had gone off the air, or it was being made while
I think it was being made while it was on the air.
Yeah, because Will Smith at that point, I think, let's see, 96, you had to be 27, 28 at the very least. And in Fresh Prince, I think he was supposed to be very late teens or early 20s. Because they only put Fresh Prince together because he'd gone bankrupt in real life. And he had like a X amount of taxes to pay off, so they said, well, let's put him together in a sitcom of an ensemble group, and it actually, saved him from financial ruin, but it also allowed him to, get his foot in another door, whilst also, building up his resume of new rap albums. And I do like in one episode where Uncle Phil kind of goes, next thing you're going to tell me that his new album went double platinum. And I'm like, I saw what you did there, Phil. I saw what you did there. Although some of the sick burns from Jeffrey. My brother's not a huge fan of the show, but he does like this one line from Jeffrey when the setup is they're going to look to try and build Nikki's car. And he goes like, oh, don't be ridiculous. Jeffrey, fetch me my tools. You mean your knife and fork?
You mean your knife and fork. Yeah, that gets me every time, too.
Oh, God. Such a total savage on that show. Or the other one where Carlton goes, a hypnotist has hypnotized Will into thinking he's 5. Can he hypnotize me into thinking I care? They just don't make.
Oh my God! When they were trying to teach Uncle Phil how to dance for the Soul Train reunion, where he was like follow the groove. It's like, if that's a groove, then the Grand Canyon's a ditch.
Oh God. Or like the other one. Uncle Phil, we're just trying to gather the noises that are familiar in this household. Will, I'm eating. You'll hear that a lot. You're grounded. Well, that about covers Uncle Phil.
Oh God, and the scene where like Uncle Phil's playing maracas for Nikki, and all of a sudden Will runs down the stairs and goes, "Earthquake!"
And that's a dance that you probably know.
You know it.
And Viv, there was a naked man running for the house. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were all asleep. Not you, G.
Oh.
Oh my God! Will, the baby's coming. Go, go. Dude, you ain't got no drawers on.
Oh, anytime Janet Hubert went to hold somebody's hand when she was having contractions, she ends up.
Oh God.
Oh,
no.
Oh my God.
Every time you try to hold out your hand, like, no, no.
And then when Uncle Phil and Will are just looking for her in the hospital. Vivian! Vivian!
Wilma! Oh, dear Lord. Oh, what was it? And and Helen who comes and says this to him after he goes. It's like getting, Vivian getting all this attention. Maybe next time I should get pregnant. Well, you certainly got the pants for it.
Oh!
And Will comes and goes, Uncle Phil, if I'd said that, you would have smacked me up my head. Proceeds to smack him anyway. Oh, God. Although some of the jokes with regards to Carlton, where Will would say, oh, I'm sorry, Carlton, I don't speak pygmy. It's like, that might not fly today.
Oh.
Nah, like I say, that show I can happily watch today. And oh yeah, Sean's just brought up one. And let's not forget about the ending when Will's dad left him again. Yeah, that.
Oh God.
Oh,
God.
No.
I don't know how many times I've watched that. It is just.
Oh, especially when it gets to the part, how come he don't want me, man?
Oh God, dude. I mean, if you check that, it's relatable. It's relatable to a lot of people, but oh God damn it, it does not get easy to watch.
Dan Williams is now in the chat.
Hey Dan.
Hello.
I think what's also somewhat symbolic is the way the camera pans down to the little statue that Will had gotten, and it was a father holding his son. And what I feel like this is one of the reasons why, James Avery is arguably one of the greatest TV dads, if not the greatest TV dad of all time, is he was calling Will's father out for being a complete deadbeat dad and saying Will is not a coat that you pick up when you want to wear him again. He has needs and you need to provide for him as his father. We can say all the quirks and all the little bits and pieces that make up the character of Philip Banks, but at the end of the day, the dude was not only a stand-up individual as a judge, but he was a damn good father. And I like in the very last episode, he just says, Will, you are my son. End of story. And yeah, there are times where the character is very firm and very strict, but he's always looking out for his family. And yeah, there are times where Will's character could be annoying and what have you, because sometimes you just felt like, Will, no fat jokes on this one, you're pushing your luck as is. But there are times where he's just trying to help the family just to be a bit more laid back and what have you, but at the same time Jeffrey, Phil's just saying, look, come on, you need to get on the straight and narrow. It's like, I can help you, but you gotta let me. And he says something quite poignant, and it's the episode where Will is a pirate waiter.
Oh God, I remember that episode.
He goes, nobody gets anywhere by trying to get there by themselves. People open doors for me all the time. It doesn't make you any less of a man to walk through them. And he's right. Nobody gets through where they are by themselves. Sometimes doesn't make you less of a person to say, I need some help. If anything, it makes you more of a person because you're acknowledging, look, I can't do this on my own. I'm holding my hand out because I need some help. I think most people can relate to that. Yeah. That got real deep real quick.
Yeah.
That does remind me, Go ahead.
Sorry. Just saying, I posted an article which I think Kaiju might like to discuss a bit later.
Sure, yeah. And I did want to bring up that there's a YouTuber named Jose that made a brilliant video on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, a full hour-and-a-half retrospective on the series, dissecting it, its themes, its influences, its character arcs, everything. So if anyone here is a Fresh Prince fan, which I'm pretty sure everyone else is, I highly, highly implore you to check out this video here in the future.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
This person also made a retrospective on Roseanne and Married with Children, so those are also two other videos.
Oh God, Married with Children.
We gotta do the Married with Children one late soon.
Al Bundy, that's a character that would not get over well with... Could you imagine if Al Bundy had a Twitter account today?
Oh God,
no. Oh, Lord.
I still love that one line. It's like, aren't you supposed to be open? Yes, ma'am, but unlike your mouth, we occasionally close.
Ah!
I want a man. You already got one.
So yeah, those are the two videos.
You're gonna be working at this rate. You're gonna be working in this user for life. Well, take a gander at what your future's gonna look like. You immediately poison the mom that has the shirt chocolate is also breakfast.
Oh.
Can you imagine what it'd be like if Al Bundy came up against a group of Karens?
Oh, he would.
He would demolish them on the spot, and I would pay good money to see that.
Oh my God. Yeah, Roseanne Barr, you pretty much destroyed your own sitcom with choice words you could have kept to yourself. Because what was it?
Whoops.
Yeah, because she had her show cancelled, but then it greenlit the Arnolds?
Connors.
Yeah.
The Connors.
Yeah.
Effectively having her character killed off air. It's just like, oh.
And also the way they killed her off character was just very like salt in the wound.
Yeah.
She died of a drug overdose.
A drug overdose, right? And the drug overdose thing, that was taken from a drug addiction episode that she had in season 10. So it's like they just took a plot line from a previous episode and used it as the basis to write her out of the show.
Yeah.
Is the Connor still around? I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, it's still on here. Yeah.
Has to be said, John Goodman's done alright for himself, considering, he's lost a ton of weight.
Mm-hmm.
Because, what was it? He was weighing something like 300 pounds some 5 to 10 years ago, but he... Ooh, you okay, Liz?
Yeah, I'm good. I have a bit of a cold.
Yeah, if there's any consolation, I'm kind of on and off one.
Yeah. There's a lot of that going around lately.
Yeah, besides the thing. And he's done all right for himself. And he was also in a movie with Marky Mark, the gambler, where he plays like a loan shark or like a mob boss that's trying to help Marky's character out because, well, Marky's got a little bit of a gambling addiction to where his own mother had to remortgage her house just to help some of his debts off. He's an actor I feel like's a little bit underrated. You don't really tend to hear about him in too much stuff these days. I mean, his last notable thing was The Last Night.
Yeah.
Who? Wait, sorry, who?
Marky
Mark
Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he was in some other movies. Let me see.
Very likable actor as well. I mean, well, he was more likable than Shia LaBeouf, but that's not saying much.
Yeah, and, the less we say about The Happening, the better, but that was not his fault.
What? No.
No, let's not talk about that.
I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't in that movie.
I think we just found a transformer.
I just found a transformer.
Hey, aren't you John Cena?
Oh my god, I forgot he was the Blue Falcon in Scoob.
Oh my god, he was! Oh my god.
Wait.
Yeah, he was.
And he's Sully in the Uncharted movie coming out in 2021? What?
The one with Tom Holland playing Nathan Drake.
What the fuck?
I know!
So let's see. Okay, so since Transformers The Last Night, he was in Daddy's Home 2, All the Money in the World, Mile 22, Instant Family, Spencer Confidential, Scoob, Joe Bell, Infinity, and Uncharted. Coming soon, Infinity and Uncharted. So yeah, you're right. Not a whole lot there that's big other than Daddy's Home 2 and Scoob.
Even Scoob was debatable, I'm sorry.
That is true. That's very true. But it's a brand thing, so that's going to be something that sticks out.
Listen, I ain't gonna watch Scoob, but look, I know it's a cartoon, but Norma in that movie, how you doing?
God damn it, Raiden.
Listen, man, I have an aesthetic.
I see.
Hang on, wait a minute. Daddy's Home. Hang on. Yeah, Daddy's Home 2, the only movie you will see Mark Wahlberg and John Cena within the same frame shot.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
From what I'm hearing, John Cena's doing pretty well in Hollywood and in commercials, especially in those hefty commercials.
I love those hefty commercials, they're fun.
Well, to be fair, at this point in his life, he's pretty much achieved what he's needed to in WWE, and he's transitioning over to Hollywood reasonably well. I would say he's not quite on Rock's level yet with movies, but at the same time, it's probably not fair to compare the two because they're completely different actors. That and Rock has been doing it a heck of a lot longer than him, but I think Cena will still come back to WWE because that is his passion.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like Rock said, he kicked down the door for wrestlers to jump over into Hollywood. But apparently in about 4 years, there is going to be a plan. So for WrestleMania 39 or 40, for one last time, it's going to be Cena versus Orton. Except this match for the WWE title will not only be their retirement match for both of them, but it will be to see who can get to that coveted 17th world title reign. And they're gonna put Cena over. So Cena in his last match will effectively break Ric Flair's record. But then,
I mean, honestly, it's at the point just get it over with, because like
I know.
you're gonna keep playing with it, time in, time out, and I'm at the point where I've softened up on Cena. Even though I don't condone his backstage politics, he was one of those guys that definitely like improved over time, no matter how many times WWE pushed him to be the best, to be Super Cena, you know?
here's the thing, though. As good and as many title reigns as he's had, he'll never be Austin.
No.
Austin is on a level far above Hogan, because if you notice, whenever Hogan comes back, yeah, he still gets cheered. As soon as you hear that glass break, people pre-COVID, people in attendance lose their fucking minds. Whenever
That's the thing. That's the thing, man. Like, Austin was that guy to take the company to the next level after Hogan left. You know, he was. I mean, from when he won the King of the Ring, it was just that moment that Austin 316 just whooped your ass. That's the build. That was the build of the character. And after him facing off against Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13, that's what elevated him. In '98, well, won the title, and bam. And that's the sad thing about it. Like, nowadays it's about the brand, not the wrestlers. So you see a lot of your favorite wrestlers don't get the star power they deserve because the man in charge don't trust them.
Although, from what I have heard with regards to some of their talent, pardon me, part of the deal that Edge got when he came out of retirement, only he gets to write his promos. But to be fair to Edge, I think he's got enough stroke to say.
Seriously, I mean, he was one of those guys that after the original plan split in 2002, he showed up what he can do, and like I think in 2005, his breakout year, he became someone that that the brass can trust, you know?
Yep. Although, it has to be said, the night after New Year's Revolution 2006, did we really need to see a live sex celebration on Raw?
No.
Excuse me?
Oh,
Yeah. It's complicated.
Let's just say WWE. Let's just say WWE was a different monster back then.
yeah, because Edge was the rated R superstar in pushing the envelope way beyond what it was supposed to be.
Oh yeah, he was basically one of the greatest heels of that time. I mean, he did whatever it takes to piss people off.
Yep.
And I can't find a better time when that whole thing when he had that affair with Lita.
Yeah, but to be fair, that wasn't really his fault per se.
No.
Yeah.
The setup.
People always blame the man in the situation, but Lita shouldn't did what he did what she did.
But the thing that's kind of cruel. I appreciate it's just story, but crime time. What the hell?
Oh no!
Listen. Were they a stereotype? Yes, but they made it work. And no matter what, like I always go back to this. I always keep going back to this segment. is like it's you know, yeah. It was like I said, it was stereotypical, almost definitely. But like they made it work, and you know, Shad Gaspard is sadly dead.
Yeah. I thought it was real savage when they said, "Oh, ain't just any sale because it's Lita. It's a wholesale." I'm like,
oh my god, I remember that. That was on her way out.
Last match
And
as well.
Honestly, with the way she was acting, look, I don't condone what they did, but she was living afoul. But
I didn't say I didn't say that it was okay. To be fair, it was kind of wrong, but again, reap what you sow.
Yes.
But you know, it had to be bittersweet for Oni because, on the one hand, Lita disappeared, but it's like, oh, Mickey James is champion. Yee!
Yes.
But back to the original point with Edge. What the setup was, Steve, it was the night after New Year's Revolution 2006. Cena had just retained the WWE title in a bloody Elimination Chamber match. Edge cashed in his Money in the Bank contract, becomes champion, and the night after, Edge says because he's the champion, he'll do things his way. He and Lita had a bed set up in the middle of the ring and said, we're going to have a live torrent sex celebration in the middle of the ring.
Oh my.
When you get spare time,
Yeah.
look this up. And it's getting interesting, and I use that in the loosest context. And of all the people to crash the party, gosh dang it, Nate, Ric Flair crashed the whole thing. Oh man.
Something he would do in his younger years. Let's be fair.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he's even going, "Hey, Lita, woo, 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 woo." As Lita thinking, "Oh, good gosh, no." Oh, but to be fair to her, she was a good sport about it. She just embraced being the heel, which she wasn't really accustomed to that. But to be fair, the fans, they weren't stupid, because from just before WrestleMania 21 till she did the heel turn by turning on Kane and what have you, they were chanting slut at her for months.
Dude. Yeah, and the fact that they made they made Kane the face in that situation. Well, let's look at the connotations of that. In the story, he kidnapped her, threatened her boyfriend, forced her to have sex, got her pregnant. His actions cost her her baby.
Yes.
And he's the good guy in the scenario.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah, WWE's known to turn the what's the word?
Revisionist history.
Yes, yes. They still do that. They still do that to this day.
It's not cool.
No, it ain't.
And then, of course, that's when they brought Matt Hardy back into where they're having that, very extended program that went through SummerSlam and then to the Raw Homecoming, where loser leaves Raw, which that actually became a staple for a few years on Monday Night Raw, where somebody would go over to SmackDown.
Yeah.
And of course, that was also the Raw Homecoming where Austin stunned every single McMahon, and JR gets fired the week after. I'm like, the hell?
Yeah.
That made no sense. Well, from a story perspective, it didn't, but from real life situation, it did, because JR needed surgery. But I don't know. whenever I look back at, highlights from those particular years of Raw, I'll watch those in a heartbeat over the modern product. Not that it was actually, today's actually trying, because like I say, you look back from 15 years ago, it's much more riveting.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yep.
Speaking of things that may or may not make any sense, Raiden, I don't know how you're gonna react to this.
What?
What the fuck? Continue. I got stuff to say after.
Drake gets Obama's stamp of approval for Barack biopic. Barack Obama is on board with Drake playing him in a movie after the Canadian rapper previously volunteered for the role. If and when the time comes for Barack Obama to have a biopic made about him, I'd watch it. The former president of the US would be happy to be played by Drake, though Drake might not be best known as a rapper based on his immense success in music. Fans will know that he got his start as an actor appearing in a prominent role in Degrassi: The Next Generation. He also has sporadically appeared in other roles in movies, including cameos in Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues, and Think Like a Man 2. In a recent interview for 360 with Speedy Mormon, Obama spoke about a potential biopic of his life. When asked specifically if he'd be okay with Drake playing him in the movie, the 44th president praised the actor and musician, seemingly giving him the possible casting the green light. I will say this, Drake seems to be able to do anything he wants. I mean, that is a talented brother, so if the time comes, and he's ready. When asked directly if Drake had Obama's stamp of approval, Barack also had this to say. Drake has, more importantly, I think, my household stamp of approval. I suspect Malia and Sasha would be just fine with it. Talk of Drake playing Obama in a movie goes back to 2010, when Drake personally volunteered to play the role. Should a project go into works anytime soon? I hope somebody makes a movie about Obama's life soon, because I could play him. I watch all the addresses. Anytime I see him on TV, I don't change the channel. I definitely pay attention and listen to the inflections of his voice. If you ask anyone who knows me, I'm pretty good at impressions. Slowly but surely, I'm not in the study mode because nobody's called me about anything, but I just pay attention, so when the day comes, I'm not scrambling to learn how to speak like him. Although he has yet to have a biopic focused specifically on his entire life and presidency, Obama has been portrayed multiple times by other actors in the past. Most recently, he was played by Kingsley Ben-Adir on the Showtime limited series The Comedy Rule. He was also played by Parker Soares in the 26 romantic comedy drama Southside with you alongside Tika Sumpter, I love that woman, as Michelle Obama, with the movie delving into the famous couple's first date in 1989. On Saturday Night Live, he has been portrayed in sketches by Fred Armisen, Jay Farrow, and even Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I think Rock would be more appropriate to play Obama for a sketch called The Rock Obama.
Or Alpha Cat.
Oh, hell yeah.
That does remind me of this one image that I wanted to share previously when you mentioned The Rock.
Oh no.
Hang on.
Let me see. Hold on, let me check it out.
Yeah. Because they all kind of look the same.
They're constantly making movies about The Rock in the jungle or the forest.
Meanwhile, Drake has been focusing more on his music than his acting career in recent years. His 6th studio album, Certified Lover Boy, is scheduled to be released in January 2021 through OVO Sound and Republic Records. The album includes the lead single, Laugh Now, Cry Later, featuring Lil Durk. An official music video for the song was released in August. This news comes to us from Complex. Raiden, you said you wanted to have something to say for this. Go right ahead.
I have just. Okay, for anyone who don't know me, I'm not a big fan of Drake. He's everywhere. I'm like, whatever, you're getting what doing this, but this it's a no bueno for me, man. Like, biopics are supposed to be fun. I feel like Drake to me just sucks the fun out of everything. So I'm like, whatever, he'll do good, but for me, nah, just no. Just no. No. No.
It's like I say, The Rock would be more appropriate to play Obama because they have very similar mannerisms in their voices, and I've noticed between Rock and Obama similar sort of body language, and particularly whenever Rock grows his hair back in, the two of them do have a similar hairstyle to each other, and also Rock's just a better actor than Drake. Let's just not be about the bush.
Here's a little trivia. In Gears of War 3, there was going to be a character named Chase Stratton. Drake was going to play him, but due to schedule conflicts, he couldn't do it. So who did they get to replace him? Michael B. Jordan.
Ooh, that's a better choice.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Also, he was also in this Ice Age movie. I think it was, Ice Age Continental Drift. Yeah.
Honestly, I stopped caring about Ice Age after the third movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dawn of the Dead. Yeah. The first three movies are fun. I can't lie to you, but yeah, as a thing.
Why can't we just get Jordan Peele to do Obama again?
Yeah.
Keegan Michael Key is angry in terms of.
Right.
I would watch that movie in a heartbeat. Yeah. My point is this: anything Drake is in post Degrassi, it's like he's a fucking vacuum, aka no charisma. It's like you just hear his voice and then whatever. So, like I said, it's a no-brainer for me. I feel like he'll just, in any scene, he'll just be boring and flat, and I'm just like, I ain't with that. No, just no.
I feel like, I don't know if you could really make the same distinguishment between his acting and music, but I feel like he's got a very sort of flat repertoire with regards to his music. I mean, the only two songs that I can think of that are somewhat noteworthy, I mean, Hotline Bling, if you take his lyrics out, it's actually, decent background music. And of course, I don't know if you've seen this one video meme that goes around. John Cena has just done like a couple of raps in a gym, and then you just sort of hear him dancing really badly to Drake's Hotline Bling. It's just one of those.
Oh God!
It's one of those. It's so bad. It's funny, and now I like me some Rihanna. I think most people do. But when I listened and watched those videos for work, I'm like, okay, you made Drake the only reprising thing in this music video. What the hell happened?
Was that the Rihanna song?
Yeah.
I like that song. I like that song.
It's not for me. I mean, when I think.
Drake. Yeah, I could have did without the Drake feature, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. For me, every time I just listen to Drake in some songs, it's just like the same boring delivery. It's like, I don't know.
It's like I say, he's flat.
Yeah. I mean, there's yeah. I don't know. I mean, 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 I don't know. yeah, like I said, yeah, like you said, he's free flying anything he does, but still he gets praised for it. I don't know. I guess people like mediocrity. I guess, but that's just me. But like I said, I have a couple guilty pleasure Drake songs I like, but still, I don't know, man. It's just the same old shit. It's just the same old shit to me.
I mean, when I think of, what I like to think of as the best songs I like from Rihanna, I mean, obviously Umbrella's up there. I like SOS. Please Don't Stop the Music, and the one that got her on the map, Pon de Relay.
Pon de Replay.
Yeah.
For me, For me, I usually go with some Rihanna songs that stick to her, that stick with her Caribbean upbringing, like Rude Boy, Man Down, and Work.
Yeah, like I say, I'm not really that much of a fan of some of her modern work. I like the actual music that they actually had for S&M, but that music video, that's fucked up. Just saying.
No.
The only time I've actually appreciated that song, there's a YouTuber I used to follow, and some of the shadow dancing she would actually do in this video is actually what's used in some of the old RDR memes, an obligatory divas match.
Oh, now I recognize those. Okay.
Yeah, I was following her for a while until she did a couple of videos where now I don't know if she was proclaiming this genuinely or if she was doing this for a part, but it's when she says, and I quote, "I am the bride of Christ." I'm like, careful, careful.
No.
I'm like, yeah.
That's some Madonna shit.
I just looked at that and I'm like, yeah, I'm not. It's like, no offense intended, I'm not following you anymore because you're technically.
Or what about hearing Ariana Grande's God is a Woman? Okay, listen. I may not agree with the message, but you gotta admit the song is not.
I like the song, but
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, that's the only Ariana Grande song I can listen to. I know I'm going on a tangent, but still,
Yeah, so it's like I say, I promptly unsubbed after that. Like, no, I'm sorry. I'm sure you're probably thinking that this is in art, but there's going to be some people, Christian and or otherwise, that go look and think, yeah, not touching that. And also, whilst we're on the subject of questionable shit, some disc jockeys in the UK will have the Pogues' Christmas Tale in New York banned from the airwaves because there's some lyrics that are not considered too politically correct, because there are some lyrics where saying a certain F word, and I'm not meaning yeah, I can understand that, but instead they'll play one of Cardi B's songs where she's rapping about her private body part, and I'm like,
whap.
And I'm like,
I'm sorry, I know this is sick, but I still enjoy showing you guys what WAP really means. Oh god! Wait till you hear the actual song, even though you might not want to.
I think I'm good. I think I'll pass.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass too.
Trust me, MJ.
I want to preserve what's left of my sanity. Thank you.
Liz, don't you know you gave up your sanity when you went with me?
Trust me, MJ. If you listen to the song uncut, Oh God! You're gonna.
I'd help you.
You're gonna have to be thinking about your life after that. I promise you that.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
So it's gonna be a
Yes.
so it's gonna be a Wednesday
God,
afternoon.
yes.
So it's gonna be a Wednesday afternoon for me then.
Oh.
God, yes.
I just the point I make is it's a double standard from mainstream radio where okay you have something banned because it doesn't really fit in with society of today. Okay.
Oh yeah, I just there was something I wanted to bring up when you mentioned Cardi B. It's like in terms of like if you want to explain to anyone of the meaning of her lyrics, you could begin with the intro to Frankenstein, where it's like, I think it will thrill you, it may shock you, it may even horrify you. So, if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now's your chance to, well, we warned you.
Ah.
Oh no.
Just like I say, it's just a complete double standard. It's probably why you probably won't hear too much airplay from a guy who originally put out the song "Hit Me With Your Rhythm Stick" because he once put out, and I'm having to type this out because I can't say this aloud on the air.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
He once put out a record called this.
That.
Oh wait a minute. Wait, hold on. That's right. The first word has a much stronger meaning in the UK than America.
Mm-hmm.
Dare I ask what?
No.
Dare I ask what's the meaning of this?
It essentially means this. Oh, okay. You already did it for me.
Oh.
Oh
Shit.
God.
God damn. Oof.
And he actually, and thing is, people were calling him out for this, and he says, "What are you talking about? I'm actually one of them. I don't care." So yeah, you wouldn't hear. You might hear Rhythm Stick because I think from what I remember of that song, it's reasonably harmless.
Honestly, off topic, I doubt they'll play the video to "Smack My Bitch Up" by Prodigy.
No. And the irony? It was a woman beating up a woman.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
I remember that. I remember that when I was younger. Also, yeah, if anyone knows me, worth gonna explain how much I love the Prodigy. Mainly their album "The Fat of the Land."
Keith was taken too soon.
Yeah, R.I.P. Keith Flint.
Of course, he was actually. This will fly over the American audience's head, but he was going out with Gail Porter at one time. To put it as this, she was basically a TV presenter personality for light entertainment in the UK. I mean, Steve, if I say things like Fully Booked and Live and Kicking, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it basically like if you have like an American equivalent where you have like a Saturday morning show where you'd have presenters on, they'd introduce celebrity musicians, actors, and then you'd have like teen sitcoms or cartoons in between. You know, it's the sort of thing that she would do. At one point, when Fully Booked was, they do a thing in the UK. Fully Booked would cover the summer program going into Christmas, and then Going Live would come back after Christmas, and then go into the summertime. When Fully Booked was off the air, Gail Porter was offered an opportunity to do a photo shoot with FHM. And if you're familiar with FHM, you know where I'm going with this already. Now, some celebrities just do things like maybe a little bit of revealing clothing, or something else exotic. Someone just openly suggested to Gail Porter, why don't you do a nude shoot? And if you look up Gail Porter, Westminster Abbey, I don't know how FHM UK did this, but they projected a picture of her naked body onto the entire building of Westminster Abbey.
Oh, blimey.
What possessed them to do this? I don't know. But for whatever reason, I don't know if this was just very tragic coincidence, but Gail went for a fair bit of hardship for the longest time. I don't know if it was stress that got to her, but she ended up losing all of her hair at a time where I don't know if, like I say, if it was stress. And I know that whenever she did get some like little bright spots, her hair would actually grow back, but she really struggled to find work as a TV entertainer. So I don't know, something of it as karma for what she did for, you know, for doing all those magazine modeling. I'm looking at a thing, I just call that coincidence, because best to my understanding, I don't think she actually did anything that could be considered taboo for what she did. I mean, if we're gonna go with the logic that people that did taboo things are going to go down a route of misfortune, in which case Amber Heard should be jobless and penniless, and Vince McMahon should be doing hard time for the way he's treated his wrestlers. So, it's like I say, I just look at it as coincidence.
Speaking of Vince McMahon, I'm just gonna say this right here, right now. Puff Daddy / Sean P. Diddy Combs to me is the Vince McMahon of music.
Go on.
Proceed.
Okay. All right. He has a history of dicking over his musical talents since Biggie's passing.
It's documented.
Mace, Dream, that white girl group.
Danity Kane.
Yes. J26, the band. Here's a name that people don't recognize. B5. Cassie. Falak. Trust me. He has a list of people who dicks her. I don't know what his end game is, but let's just say the Notorious B.I.G. is stone cold. And since B.I.G. tragically lost his life, Diddy's just been trying to find the next big thing. But when 2 to 3 hits, they're irrelevant, and Diddy just wants nothing to do with it. So there you go.
Well, we know J-Lo got shot of him.
Yes, I forgot about J-Lo. Yes, J-Lo.
Funny enough, didn't Eminem's reference her and him in one of his singles?
I think so. I can't remember.
I vaguely remember.
And Puffy, I'm doing Jennifer Lopez, and Puffy, you know this.
Oh.
M gave no fucks with who he was dissing.
He never gave a fuck.
God.
Oh,
you could explain his evisceration of Machine Gun Kelly a while back.
I was about to mention that.
Ooh.
Or here's someone he feuded with that you never thought he did. Mariah Carey.
Oh my God! I heard about this. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, he doesn't discriminate.
Mm-mm.
Although
I mean, if you don't remember, back in his younger years, he took a lot of pot shots at his wife, Kim.
Oh God, the song Kim. Oh God, no. Ooh.
Listen to that shit one time, man. Oh, wait a
I'm
minute.
like, dude, you have issues, bro.
I just found a video we can watch off air.
The one
my.
line that always,
Oh,
the one line that always gets me goes, Kim, why don't you like me? It's like, oh gee, you only just figured it out. The other thing and I'm saying this objectively, we get it. You love your daughter Haley. You don't need to keep making like one specific dedicated single on each album. It's just like when he did the first one.
there was this one lyric. If that bird doesn't sing, I will break that birdie's neck.
Oh God, no. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, look it up. It's real.
I mean, although I will respect him for this piece. When it was her prom day, he was present, but he was like, like watching from the background. Said, no. This is her time. I'm letting her have this. But I don't know. And
or there was this one song he did slandering his own mother and cleaning out my closet.
Ooh.
But if you heard the lyrics,
sick.
That was
if
dark.
you heard the lyrics, listen.
That was fucking
I know
dark.
what he. Yes, it was. Oh man, he went to town. So.
I mean, to be fair, hearing about what his mother did to him, that's like, yeah, there's a reason he hates you, honey. There's a reason he fucking hates you. Because Munchausen by proxy is not a good thing. Ooh.
No. And that was during one of his best runs in music.
Mm-hmm.
Was this before one of his umpteenth retirements?
No,
Yeah. Okay, his last album before doing retirement / rehab was Encore.
Ah. Oh wow, he does more retirements and comebacks than The Undertaker.
Man.
Ooh.
Let's be glad let's just hope this sticks. Please, God, let's hope this sticks.
As like we said, it's like we said last week, what more has the man got left to prove?
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that was eluding him was an Intercontinental title reign, but he doesn't need it. And from what I'm seeing from interviews, he looks like he's solidly done, although I love that Omaze prank that he did on the fans, where you can tell a guy's enjoying himself by being out of character for the first time in years, and I hope somebody gets that opportunity to go train with him at the Performance Center and just to hang out, because it's like I say, not only is it going to a worthy cause with Make-A-Wish, but you get to hang with The Undertaker in the Performance Center and just tour around like, your best buds with him. And the way he was acting whenever the live feed from Omaze would go from the guy hosting it to take her in a separate room and he's just chewing people out. Oh, dude. It's one of those, when you get time, watch it, because it's like I say, you can tell the guy's having fun with it. And I like the reaction he gives when someone goes, hopefully he'll do a couple more matches, and he's like, well. And of course, we've gone completely off topic about Drake playing Obama. Drake, all I'm going to say is this. Learn how to act, then I'll think about it. Because the only person that I can think of that can play Obama is The Rock. Because, like I say, he's got similar...
Or Jordan Peele.
Yeah. Because Rock has very similar mannerisms. Alright, Rock is probably a tiny bit more buff than Obama. But last time I checked, Barack wasn't a WWE wrestler, although there was that one skit on Raw.
I was dumb.
It was The Rock, Barack Obama versus Hillary Hulk.
Don't you mean The Rock Obama?
Yeah, it was The Rock Obama versus Hulk Hillary Clinton. With her Hillary maniacs. It's one of those, it's so dumb and stupid, but they were in the race for the presidency at the time, so it's just like, you know what, fuck it. Like I say, I'm not buying Drake as Obama. I think he needs to work on his music before he can think about playing the 44th president. Steve, your thoughts?
Couldn't care less.
Lydia.
I mean, to be fair, if this was Drake, i.e. Aubrey Graham, when he was still on Degrassi, maybe, because he actually did have some acting range back in those days.
And how?
Now, yeah. I don't see it happening. I'm sorry. He's been way too focused on his music career, if you can call it that. It's just, I don't know. I don't see it happening. I like the guy personally. Well, I liked him back in the day. I have a mild tolerance for him now, but yeah, I don't see him playing Obama. I really don't. I'm sorry.
Does Kaiju have an opinion, or does Kaiju not care?
Kaiju certainly does not care.
Fair enough. Okay. Cross that one off. Now here is something that is likely to please everyone.
Ooh. Go on.
Hang on. Let me get to this. Darkwing Duck reboot happening at Disney Plus.
Yay!
Gimme!
Recently on Disney XD's DuckTales, the gang spent a couple of days in St. Canard at Launchpad, hung out with his old buddy Drake Mallard, aka Darkwing Duck. During the 2 episodes, they met Goslin and became a crime fighting team. They even took on classic Darkwing villains Megavolt, Bushroot, Liquidator, and Quackerjack. The whole time I kept saying, boy, this is so great, I hope they do a proper Darkwing Duck reboot series soon. Friday, Variety reported Disney's in fact doing a proper Darkwing Duck reboot series. According to the outlet, no writer is currently attached to the project, but sources say it will be produced by Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg, James Weaver, and Alex McAtee. Whether Rogen and Goldberg will have... apparently... will have any other role beyond producing is also not known. The series, according to Variety, will be a Disney Plus series rather than Disney XD like DuckTales. The original Darkwing Duck ran from 91 to 92 with a total of 91 episodes on ABC and the syndicated Disney Afternoon block. A seeming spin-off to the original 1987 DuckTales, Launchpad McQuack was a main character and Gizmo Duck made frequent guest appearances. Darkwing Duck's creator, Tad Stones, maintains the shows are not in the same universe, even though we categorically disapprove that. Since the DuckTales reboot in 2017, the series has garnered a lot of praise from fans for its visuals and writing. It also boasts a talented cast, including David Tennant, Ben Schwartz, Danny Puddy, Bobby Moynihan.
Moynihan.
Thank you.
Bobby Moynihan, yeah.
Kate McCutchie, I'm guessing.
Mikuchi.
Thank you. Beck Bennett and Tox Ola Gundoy. One would hope the guest cast for the Darkwing episodes continue through the spin-off. Jamil Jamil as Darkwing Supercomputer was an excellent touch, as it has Jason Mantzoukas as Steelbeak. Can I just say, worst version of Steelbeak ever? Because Rob Paulson was so much better. Has appeared.
I mean, I like the actor Jason Mantzoukas. He's pretty funny, especially on the show Big Mouth. AKA J. Bilzerian.
Has appeared several times on DuckTales, though not on the Backdoor pilot episodes. We'll keep you updated on further announcements about Darkwing Duck, the terror that flaps in the night. For now, we can hope it keeps on the same level and care of humor that made DuckTales such a wonderful and reprising return to form. The thing I've noticed, and this is just me calling as is, I get why a lot of people like the DuckTales reboot, but you could tell the moment they got to Darkwing Duck and did the Darkwing Duck specials, the writers of that show wanted to do a reboot of Darkwing Duck so much because you could see the quality in the writing and the visuals. It's like, look, this is what we wanted to do. And I like the fact that in those episodes, his headquarters is still in the tower on St. Canard Bridge. They had most of the voice actors come back to reprise their roles for the villains. And it's still got the same sort of feeling as the original series, but this has to be said, it should have been Jim Cummings as Darkwing Duck and not this new guy. I got nothing against him personally, but Darkwing Duck is, Jim Cummings' most favourite role that he's ever done. And yeah, he can still be on the show as Negaduck, but to me, he's always going to be DW. I'm totally down for a reboot series because I absolutely adored that show when it was about in the early to mid 90s when it was shown over here on repeat. It was just this idea of you have this, let's call it for what it is. Darkwing was an anti-hero because he didn't exactly play by the rules. And it's just like this guy that was the fall guy where he was always taking like the brunt of the jokes.
Yes, always.
And I just love this one image of him where it's either he's still recovering from like the night before or just like a long week, and you just see him crawling on the floor, bloodshot eyes, and all you can hear is coffee. I'm like, yep, I can relate to that. That's me first thing in the morning. So, yeah, I'm totally down for a for a new reboot. And also Disney, put out the original series on PAL format so I don't have to, play it through my multi-region DVD player. 'Cause I have got the original series, but I can only play it on a DVD player that's got multi-region settings, which is a pain in the you-know-what. But Steve, thoughts on the Darkwing reboot?
Well, I'm feeling a bit of conflict with it. On one side, it does me good to see that it's getting a reboot. The other half of me is just like, why we're doing the whole we're doing the whole reboot thing again, and I'm just getting tired of it.
I feel you. All right.
I just feel conflicted about the whole thing. I know DuckTales has been able to give new life into the franchise, and David Tennant, he does a great Scrooge McDuck.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel, again, I do have my doubts.
All right. Lids.
Like a lot of like people, I'm actually thoroughly excited for this reboot. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate the original, which again, if Disney Plus does not put the original series on their streaming format, missing out. But again, I'm actually very excited for that. And like, I don't mind the new voice for Darkwing, but again, I'm with agreement here that Jim Cummings should have at least come back. If they do like a thing where they bring Negaduck and it's voiced by Jim Cummings, I'm like, I see what you're doing. All right, I'll see what you're doing. But again, I do like what this DuckTales reboot is doing. That like they appreciate the fans, but also they take some of the old stuff and make it new, and I do appreciate that. But all in all, if I had the streaming service, I would totally watch this. It doesn't look too bad.
Raiden?
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I'm kind of sort of with Steve on this. Like, reboots are kind of getting annoying at this point. But for me, it's like, you know, as long as they're done right, you know, especially with DuckTales as a whole, you know, what's there to complain about? I mean, I know people are up in arms, especially what's going on with Animaniacs, but still, you know, as long as we have faith in the creators who's doing this, I'm okay. I'm pretty much okay with this. I'm saying I can't wait. You know, personally, especially when there was a season 3 episode of the genie from the DuckTales movie showed up. It had Goofy as a special guest, and in that scene, Goofy had pictures of him and Max from a Goofy movie, so looks like that's canon. So hopefully, and I really mean hopefully, some in the future we get a Goof Troop reboot, because seriously, that show is pretty underrated, and I really want to see the adventures of Goofy and Max, and of course Pete's family, just in an entirely setting. So back on the topic with Darkwing Duck reboot, as long as it's done well, from what I've heard so far, it's doing pretty good. And yeah, not hearing Jim Cummings as the main guy is but you can't. For me, think about this. You can't have the same actors do the same thing every time. You got to do something different.
True.
So with Jim Cummings being the original actor of Darkwing Duck as a whole, and then him being rejected and turning into Negaduck, I thought that was brilliant storytelling. So with the new guy, being the new Darkwing Duck, you got to do something in order to keep things fresh. Don't have everything be original. So with that said, I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait for it to be shown. And finally, we're gonna get technically we already got the crossover between this and DuckTales. So with this, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's a fair comment. Kaiju, your thoughts?
I guess I'd be intrigued to see what this new version has to offer to make it respectable yet distinct enough from the original series. But for me, I still need to watch. I didn't grow up much with the Disney Channel shows growing up, but so I still need to actually watch I've only watched a handful of episodes of the original Darkwing Duck. For me, it's like, I'm definitely not gonna watch this show when it comes out, simply because I still need to. I have the original series. I still want to catch up on. But if people are fans for those who are fans of the new DuckTales series, which again I have no strong feelings for one way or the other, I hope they would enjoy this as well. My one main concern would just be Seth Rogen's involvement in it. And it just kind of seems like a very sort of out of left field pick for him. I don't know if he's been a producer of other children's television series, If so, I hope his track record turns out to be good. But whatever the case is, I'm most likely not going to watch the show, and for multiple reasons beyond just me not still needing to watch the original series. But I hope whoever does end up watching that show, I hope they'll enjoy it.
Yeah, he's not necessarily someone I would associate with being a producer for a kids show. And on an additional note, this is
Anybody watch Sasha's Party?
Yes. God, yes.
Additionally,
I only watched that once and only once. And listen, I love dark humor. Oh my God, the last minute of that movie. Oh Lord,
Oh God.
Oh God. Oh no.
And there's a decapitation scene in that movie. I'm like,
okay, that was funny to me. I don't care.
Let's
That
see.
was funny.
So apparently, Seth Rogen was, in terms of television, Seth Rogen was an executive producer for Preacher, Future Man, Black Monday, and The Boys.
Yes.
Ooh, that's
Boy.
right. He is responsible for The Boy.
Yeah. Once again, I implore you all to check that show out. Trust.
Yeah, I've been told that show's really good. I need to watch it.
It shows the dark reality of superheroes. And I already said enough of Homelander. Trust me, he is Superman. Whenever he goes rogue.
Now, I do want to say that he was also the producer of Sausage Party. And if you know anything about Sausage Party, those animators were screwed over royally for that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard.
And of course, Raiden, didn't you once say, Seth Rogen and Sausage Party, you sick bastards?
Yes.
Oh God!
Dude, the jokes in that movie. Wait, what did he do to you? And you see a toilet paper rolls like, you don't want to fucking know.
Oh God.
Trust me, whenever you see Sausage Party, I suggest you watch that shit once.
Oh God.
So that last minute scene, which I will have nightmares to this day.
Additionally, the only real thing I'm not a huge fan of with what they did with DuckTales was what they did to Donald's voice. Now, for context, I've got no issue with Don Cheadle. He's going in it, he's doing as Don Cheadle does. He goes in and knocks it out of the park. But messing with Donald's voice, that ruins his gimmick. Because now he's just like another character.
I mean to be fair, he did do that Captain Planet thing. So I would not call that ruining. I think for me he had a lot of fun with that. I mean, I think with doing the real voice for Donald, it's for for big purposes, like for the first season finale, and for the third season, which had like a dream-ish sequence. So at least with that, it's not overly abused.
Yeah. Also, can I just say this? The way they've handled Gyro in that series, he just comes across as a giant condescending asshole. Really?
A little bit, but like I said with Darkwing Duck, you can't have those same characters be like the totally same. You gotta have a little bit more depth to it. Like for example, with Magic at the Spell.
Oh, that was creepy.
Oh, I love what they did with her.
Also, especially with her supposed dark half, Lena. Like I really like that they made her a big supporting character in the second season. And in the third season, she becomes her own person with her own powers instead of just and I'm using air quotes here, auntie's powers. So stuff like that was what I really liked. Also, they brought back Phantom Blood.
I do like the fact in the remastering of DuckTales that they brought out for PlayStation Network and Xbox Live, they actually got the original voice actress to come back and reprise a role. And I thought, this is a woman in her 90s, and she could still go, and so could Alan Young, because you hear him as Scrooge, didn't miss a single beat.
He killed it. And the game itself from what I heard is fun as hell.
Yeah.
I mean everything. It's been done it's done with great detail too.
Yeah. Well, because I think people loved the original version, and so when they go to do the remastering, it's like, hang on, let's treat this one with respect, because it's in a similar vein with the TV series. I mean, the original DuckTales to this day still holds up incredibly strong, from writing, voice work, and especially the animation style. That animation style's timeless. In fact, probably my favorite episode is when Scrooge is telling the story about how he got his #1 dime. I thought it was a great story showing how he went from Scotland, making his fortune in America, and can I just say, I want his money bin. I wanted his money bin. I mean, physically, it's absolutely impossible to go swimming in all those coins, but damn it, I still want to try.
It's not. It reminds me of that bit from Family Guy where they did that, where Peter jumped into the pile of money. And all he did was just break all his bones.
It's not a liquid.
It's a solid.
Great many pieces of solid matter, which form a hard, small law-like surface.
I'm glad you brought up Family Guy, because there was a random clip going around where I think they were in like it was either their panic room in the attic, or they're just up in the attic and it's all flooding up, and Peter just says he didn't get the Godfather and what have you, and Lois, I love the character for this, goes, Peter, they were using the language of subtlety, something you know nothing about, and I'm like, she's not wrong. Because Peter Griffin, I never thought there could be a bigger asshole in animation than Homer or Eric Cartman, and yet there he sits. And it's
and they definitely push the asshole nature of Peter to new heights to new lows rather with each new season.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, God.
And it's that sort of pessimistic attitude I just could not get behind, and I haven't watched Family Guy in like well over 10 years at this point. I don't know, maybe between 5 and 10 years.
I think I stopped caring after season 6 or 7. It's just like it was purposely trying to get filthier for the sake of getting filthier, and it's just like, yeah, that's South Park shtick. You know, you were doing just fine when.
Well, it's not just filthy. I think it's just mean-spiritedness.
Especially what they do to poor Meg. Oh God.
Oh.
Yeah, it's at the point.
Don't get me
it's
started.
at the point where it's not fun. It's at the point where it's not funny anymore.
It just makes me want to do a bit from one of the Slappy Squirrel segments from Animaniacs, where she just sees something wrong, completely aggravates her on TV. She just reaches into her bag, grabs out a bomb, and just chucks it at the TV.
I think the cruelest joke.
I think in a sense, South Park, with its with its genius writing nowadays, it's still it still hits hard with the issues, but it's still funny as hell. I think with other adult oriented shows, it's like they do the crassness without meaning, and that's what I see with Family Guy a lot of the time. Like this one episode where Stewie says the F bomb in church, and Lois gets shunned by all the mothers. Like,
Yeah.
really? Like, come on, we've seen Stewie curse so many times, though. So it's like, what? It's like, what do you? What's the meaning? Like, do you expect me to care for Lois? Because I don't. Because Lois, ugh.
The only
Out of every
person I-
character, she's the one has to regress the most. Because anything she does is like she chastises Peter, but she does some stupid shit, but she still chastises Peter. Like, who does that? Like, that's
Yeah, I mean, this is the woman that did porn, and she
Yeah.
gives everybody that shit.
Pardon?
and had an affair with Gene Simmons.
Mhm.
Okay. When did Lois Griffin do porn?
Yeah,
Oh,
It was an episode. It was an episode.
It was an episode called "And I'm Joyce Penny," and Lois and Joyce, the new news actor after who was this?
Joyce
And-
Kenny.
She essentially did it like well before in her
Diane.
youth.
Diane, the chick who killed a lot of minor characters for revenge. Okay.
Later on.
Here's the plot. Her and Joyce becomes good friends, and Lois airs out a secret, says she did porn for money and all that, and Joyce basically aired it out for all the world to see, and from whatever, and it was revenge because for Lois, that's something she did when she was younger. So she gets shunned, and in the end, she shows everybody that shit in church. And here's the funny bit. The preacher was like, "I know I'm a man of Christ, but that shit is hot." Yeah. So that
And they
was,
may
that
or
was
may
the
not
big-
have shown Stewie's actual father.
Yes.
Oh, come on!
I mean, also speaking of Meg, you know, there was an episode called Seahorse She-Shell Party. Say that 5 times. Where
No.
Meg gets fucking tired of all of the shit, and she basically berates everyone from Chris. The one she did with Lois was amazing. She went to town on her.
But of course, none of it matters because everyone
Yes.
just goes back to the status quo after that.
Because
status
it's just
quo
that-
is
it's
king.
better to be hated and have everybody feel bad.
Screw that logic.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, what was it? Was that the same episode where Meg got them on a reality TV show, or I'm thinking of a
No,
completely
no.
different one?
That was
No, no,
an
no,
That
early,
was
early
an
Family
earlier
Guy.
one.
The
Well,
thing-
there was that scene where Brian does mushroom. I mean, yeah.
Oh God, that's not a no. Poor Brian.
I really don't
I was
like.
so fault, damn it.
I really don't like what they've done to his character over the years. I mean, I've checked
Right.
in now and again with some seasons, and I think like the first 3 to 4 seasons, you watch it for Brian and Stewie because you like that
Yeah.
sort of complementarity between the two, because one's very suave, has a very sort of neutral, objective perspective and offers his dry wit, while Stewie's just like, damn you, victory is mine, damn you all, and all this jazz. But then they just turned Brian into a douche. I'm just like,
Yeah.
why are you
To be
doing
fair, he was
this?
already a douche.
Stewie ends up doing some pretty douchey, insane things himself. Because, I think it was in a few seasons ago, in order to try and spend more time with Brian, he ends up getting pregnant with his
Oh.
Brian's baby.
Oh God,
I'm
no.
not making that up.
Oh, he's not.
Lids.
I remember that episode like yesterday.
Lids.
Uh-huh.
Do I have permission to say K?
You have my permission?
Okay.
Yes, watch that whole damn episode. You'll be creeped the fuck out.
Oh, and let's not forget the babies that come out of that.
Oh
Ugh.
my
Oh,
god.
Fill them with fire.
Oh lord.
Fill it with all the fire.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Oh my god.
Do we have any topics to take our mind off this?
Please.
I need some brain bleach, please.
Give me a moment.
Yeah, I think we're almost done. We're
Give me
almost
a moment.
we're almost at the finish line on here.
Oh god.
Oh wait, there was that time of why Quagmire hates Brian. Oh god, he went on a tangent.
But he made sense.
He did. I agree.
And what do? They just made Brian even worse than that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, if we cover the Screen Rant topic that I put in.
Yeah. Damn. Let's see. Here's something that should be reasonably pleasing. Gremlins 3, Chris Columbus offers update on sequel, says creatures won't be CGI. The Home Alone filmmaker the Home Alone filmmaker wrote a script for a new sequel. It's been a while since we've heard anything about a new potential Gremlins 3, but if the sequel eventually happens, fans can rest assured it'll stay true to the heart of the first two films. The first Gremlins was the movie that put filmmaker Chris Columbus on the map, as Spielberg spotted his horror-tingled screenplay and sparkled to the title immediately. Spielberg produced, Columbus wrote, and Joe Dante directed the Christmas set horror comedy. Oh, so that's another one we could consider a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Gremlins.
Yeah, there we go.
That was released in 1984 and instantly created a devoted fan base that remains passionate to this day. Lydia, Christmas caca. Dante would go on to make a more satirical sequel called Gremlins 2: The New Batch. I love that fucking movie. But
my god.
But over the years, Columbus has been working a full-on Gremlins 3 off the ground. When I spoke with Columbus for an episode of Collider Connected, recorded during the press day for his new Netflix film, The Christmas Chronicles Part 2, which he co-wrote and directed, I asked if Gremlins 3 might happen, and he offered an update. I would love to do it. I wrote a script, so there is an existing script. We're working out some issues right now, so we're just trying to figure out when the best time to make that film would be. I would still do it the same way. I would do it as tangible puppets, not CGI. Maybe having, when we had one stop at motion scene in the first Gremlins, but I don't think I'd use much CGI in Gremlins 3. And also, you can't do Gizmo as CG. Gizmo's got to be done as Gizmo. As recently as 2017, Columbus was teasing a twisted and dark screenplay he wrote for a proposed third feature, but those rights issues that he alluded to in our interview remain. In 2019, Warner Brothers gained registered trademark of the Gremlins name and franchise and immediately greenlit an animated TV series adaptation of the property that's headed to HBO Max. But I'd really love to see what Columbus could bring to the franchise over 3 decades later, especially as he maintains the movie should be made with puppets and not CGI, which is absolutely the right call. Here's hoping that it comes to fruition. I'd be totally down with a third Gremlins movie, provided Columbus is on board for it, because let's be fair, he is the originator of it, and I think, to have I know sometimes it's good to have a fresh take on a franchise just so that you can take it in a direction that might not have been so sustainable, but Gremlins 1 and 2 were so decent, and Columbus knew what he was doing with them. I think for someone else like Warner, because let's say for the sake of discussion, Warner Brothers bringing Michael Bay for Gremlins 3. You already know.
Oh God, no!
No,
Oh God! Oh God!
no.
Darkest timeline.
I mean, there are certain people that can only direct certain projects. I mean, maybe if you had Travis Knight come in for for a Gremlins project over at Warner Brothers, that might work because Travis started out as an animator, so he knows how to do the visuals and how to, use his budget accordingly. But I think with regards to Gremlins, let someone direct it that knows what they're doing with it. Don't try and take it into a direction that's completely devoid of how it began originally. Let's go with the notion that Kaiju gets to turn Draco Azul into a partially light-hearted but high stakes action animated feature of Draco Azul. And let's say he got Yuri Lowenthal to be the voice of Draco Azul, and it's a smash hit. But then say for the second movie they say, right, we want Draco Azul to be like a teen college sitcom situation with nothing but frat boy humor, and Kaiju's like, the fuck?
Like, no.
That'd be
So essentially, you want to pull a Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oh god.
Like, get the fuck out of my office.
That'd be like, let's say they go ahead with the Buffy reboot, and one of the two projects that they have is, say, Project A. You have Sarah Michelle Gellar involved as a creative consultant to say, this is what works, this is what doesn't work, and let's say they have an unknown actress that has Sarah's qualities from when she was Buffy, but it's a modern version. And then you have Studio B version that say, no, let's turn this into a male-hating sitcom situation where we've got a younger version of Megan Fox playing Buffy. Let it be the first ones to get out the rocket launchers and all the other Slayer weapons and say, you have about 5 seconds to walk away from this project.
Like, would you like to get into the party howitzer, please?
That'd be like... That'd be like, say, for example, they decide to make a brand new live-action Thunderbirds movie. And let's say Steven's like one of the people like on a committee board that gets to have the final say. And let's say someone walks up to him and says, "Oh, we'd like one of the guys from One Direction to play Alan Tracy." Be like, "Get that shit out of here."
You have 5 seconds to vacate these premises.
You will be shot.
Or in Raiden's case, let's say they decide to make a biopic of Snoop Dogg, which that'd be interesting in its own right. And he's a producer, and they say, "Oh, we want Lil Wayne to play Snoop Dogg." It's like, man, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Oh God, no. Fuck that shit.
Lil Wayne needs to learn how to rap before he can act properly.
Oh!
And stuff. And moisturize his skin because he's looking like a scarecrow lately.
If anything, Wiz Khalifa would be a better pick. Because...
Probably.
First of all, the guy can actually rap. And I like the work that he did for Fast 7. And I was genuinely surprised by Speed Me Up for Sonic. I'm not usually...
Yeah?
I'm not usually...
It's honestly, it's not common because there was one early song he did, and he sampled Green Hill Zone.
Huh.
He also sampled Scala's theme from from Chrono Trigger.
Oh.
Yeah, so Wiz is a big gamer, so.
Yeah. And also in that music video, couldn't tell if he just, was, just enjoying the day on the job, or if he was really losing himself in that, because some of those scenes, I don't think he was acting. I think he sort of, lived the moment.
Oh, of course. Of course. I mean, I know for a fact Sonic is one of his favorite video game characters, so that was just a bonus.
Now, is that a bonus or a bonus stage? Sorry.
Get there.
The door was open.
It's all good.
The door was open. I just walked on through.
It's all good.
That's what I usually do when it comes to humor.
You gotta be thinking that he's bound to do a single for the follow-up movie in 2 years' time.
Of course.
Whether he'll just do, like, say, Speed Me Up 2, or they'll probably do, like, a theme where it's kind of like a play on Tales as well, because I don't really know what they're gonna do for the sequel. But then again, we didn't really have that much of an idea what they were gonna do with the first movie. And I think it's a sign of the times now. I don't think we're gonna see comic book movies disappear. But I think
Absolutely not.
But I think after the epic moment that was Endgame, I don't think you're gonna see too many comic book movies that are gonna match what they did.
I think, you know what? Now that you mention it, I think it's at this point, like, I'm not saying superhero movies will die down, but I feel like it'll play second fiddle to video game movies nowadays. Because think about it, in the last couple of years, video game movies has been doing pretty good. From
I'm like, fingers crossed that the Mortal Kombat movie doesn't suck. Please don't suck.
I know. That's the one thing I'm looking forward to, man.
You're like, just give me some blood, guts, and gore, baby. That's all I want.
Yes. God, yes. I'm hearing James Wan is producing it, and if you don't know who he is, I think it's either
He's responsible for the Conjuring movies.
Conjuring, yes, Conjuring. Thank you. Yes. Hearing about that series and hearing about Mortal Kombat, I'm like, oh my god, please let this be good. And from what I've heard, the cast is really good too.
After what I heard about The Conjuring from Lids, no thanks, I'll pass. There are certain horror movies I can watch because I can, have the suspension of disbelief, but when you have movies with those kind of stories, I'm like, no thanks. I can watch vampires, I can watch mummies. I'm tired of zombies because that's just overdone.
It's been done a million times.
I can watch, like I say, I can watch vampires, I can watch mummies. Werewolves, it's hard to explain this. I don't hate it, but I wouldn't call myself a full-on fan of them. I'm kind of that casual fan. I just find the stories intriguing, and this is just me talking, they haven't really had a really successful werewolf movie since An American Werewolf in London. Nothing's ever really come close to it.
Aside from some rarities like Ginger Snaps.
I love that movie.
That was extremely well done for an independent movie. Cursed, guilty pleasure, and thing that makes me laugh. You have Judy Greer's character wolfed out, and then you have her having transformed, and then cops are in the building asking, like, what does she look like as a human? And you have Christina Ricci's character saying, blonde, tall, bony, no tits and no ass, and you see her come onto the ledge, and there she is flipping the bird like, hey!
That was that was hilarious. I can't lie to you. Also, technically, the only one other successful. It combines vampires and werewolves, but the Underworld series.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
which I always will praise using a little bit of practical effects, especially with the wolf head.
I will say though, I will be very, very, very surprised if we see another one in the near future.
Yeah.
Because the last one, that was
hard.
Yeah, that shit was lame.
That was bad.
Yeah, I think after the sequel of the first movie, yeah, the Underworld series has not been good. From Awakening to Winter, from what you mentioned, yeah, that shit just got bad. That franchise just got bad.
I mean, first movie, absolutely amazing. Just offered a real fresh take on the lore of both sides. Evolution, I enjoyed.
It was decent.
Then there was Rise of the Lycans, which that's really underrated. And see if I'm alone on this. When you see that image of Lucian stepping out from the castle, and he's out in the sunshine with that medieval gear on, did you get an Undertaker vibe from him?
A little bit.
A little.
Awakening, it was okay. There's nothing to write home about. I mean, Kate Beckinsale proved she could still go.
Yeah, she kills that Celine.
But Blood Wars,
ugh, that shit was terrible. I said it before in the end of year panel. That was good.
the only two actors that actually cared in that movie, Theo James as David.
Aside from what I feel about Awakening and Blood Wars, David was a really good
Addition.
Was a really good new guy for the series.
And also Charles Dance. I was not expecting him to be in those movies, and he was also in Dracula Untold. Never pictured him being in horror movies. Although it's not said explicitly in the movie, apparently the figure he was supposed to have been originally, before turning into what is credited as the Master Vampire, he was supposed to have been the Roman Emperor Caligula.
Ooh.
Caligula. Oh, I've heard. Oh, Caligula. Oof.
Yeah, I've heard stories about that too.
Yeah, I've heard of the name. He's one of the most ruthless generals in that era.
And kind of a perv.
Yes, I've heard that too.
Isn't it supposed to be in the story that he slept with his sister? I don't know for a fact. I'm just asking.
I think so.
But then again, it was Roman times. Not saying that was right.
No.
But Untold. Here's the thing. I love the production value. I love Luke Evans' performance. He killed it. The only thing I found a bit odd is that you hear some of the other characters with Romanian accents, yet they couldn't disguise Luke Evans' Welsh accent in there. Most of the other ones have either, like I say, European or British accents, and Dominic Cooper, I think it was as the Sultan. Damn. You know what I find is the irony? In the last fight of the movie, you have a battle between a human and Dracula himself, and Dracula's the good guy. That's the thing I just find as absolute irony.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's rare you see that. Like, I mean, look at Castlevania. I mean, the Netflix series.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Dracula. Yeah, he's feared, but when he meets, you know, the kid with, I keep forgetting her name, but when he meets her, you know, he finds happiness. They have a kid together. But when the treacherous church kills her, you can understand why he wants to kill everyone, because they fucked over his happiness. Well, I'm gonna purge the whole world of darkness.
Oh, interesting.
You know,
the guy who voices Dracula, and this will be prevalent to Stephen and the rest of you respectively. The voice of Loki from Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, but this is why it's prevalent to Stephen. The guy who was in charge of the tank from Red Dwarf Season 8.
Whoa.
Yep.
Ooh.
You could tell he was having fun as both Loki and Dracula. And apparently, one of the other characters in Castlevania, I think it was one of the preachers, does the name Matt Frewer mean anything to you?
Shut up! No way!
Yeah.
The leader.
I've heard. Whoa.
1990.
Oh my god, I didn't realize that.
1996 Incredible Hulk animated series. The leader.
Oh my god.
This is when I saw that name flash up, I'm like, wait a minute. There's like the camp version of the leader, although you could argue most incarnations of the leader are camp. But Matt took it to a whole new level where you'd hear things like, "Go yes." It's like I'm looking at a time on screen like, stop that. Oh dear. From what I remember hearing, Untold was supposed to be the beginning of Universal's Dark Universe, and then they abandoned that in favor of The Mummy. That
Listen. Say what you will with the Dark Universe, but I'd rather pick Dracula and Soul to start that instead of.
Oh, easily.
Remake.
Easily.
Listen. I love Sophia Boutella as Aminette, but that whole thing with Tom Cruise becoming a guy. And get that shit out of my face. That shit was
god, that was basically Mission Impossible, the Mummy edition.
Oh my god. That was terrible.
It was one of those movies. How do I put this? And Sean just said, and we all know how well that one turned out. Yeah.
And I'm hearing that. I'm hearing the Dark Universe is coming back.
Yeah.
With what?
That's funny.
I don't know. I just hear it coming back.
From what I hear, they want to do The Bride of Frankenstein, which I thought, okay. And
I'm good on that.
well, if you recall,
I'd rather read Junji Ito's version of Frankenstein.
Ooh.
That's a really good adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
I got the okay by Linkara.
Oh god, just Junji Ito, you sick bastard.
Yeah.
I mean that in a compliment.
If you recall, might have been last year, might have been in 2018, we did actually report this on the show that there was word going around on the wire that they were gonna remake The Wolfman yet again, but they would have The Rock as the Wolfman.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, no.
Here's the thing.
They would do a lot of CGI to get him with that front. Well, for the Wolfman stuff, yeah, keep him as his regular body.
See, that's just the thing. When you look at the character and also the monster creature type, depending on what your preferred definition is, the Wolfman is basically the Hulk with fur. And for The Rock, who's already basically a Hulk himself, it kind of defeats the purpose. I know that I really stuck with this actor's name now.
Is it D'Onofrio?
No. There's another actor. He was originally being linked to play Batman before Ben Affleck got the role.
Josh Brolin?
No. This is really gonna bother me now. There's an actor about mid to late 30s. This is really gonna bother me because apparently he went to Universal Pictures to make his own pitch about how to do a modern take of the Wolfman. I'm gonna have to do hang on. Actor pitches modern Wolfman to Universal. Ryan Gosling.
Oh, okay.
I feel like he can pull it off.
Because the thing is, and it's like we mentioned earlier, there hasn't really been a successful werewolf movie since An American Werewolf in London. Because there have been others that have tried over the years. I mean, American Werewolf in Paris. I feel like when they use CGI instead of the animatronics, it really hurt the credibility.
You can say that with every movie at this point.
True.
These days.
And also I felt like that movie was a tiny bit more light-hearted. I'm not trying to say that it's light-hearted at all, but the tone was a lot.
Well, to be fair, American Werewolf in London had a lot of dark moments, but it had a lot of funny moments, especially with the homeboy's friend coming out eviscerated.
Oh god, just trying to compel him to kill himself before it's too late. I'm like, oh, that's just dark.
Then you have Cursed. That one, it's a guilty pleasure. It's very underrated. And to be fair to Christina Ricci, she's done dark movies before, and has to be said, did not see that twist at the end with Joshua Jackson. He knows how to play dark.
Yeah, it's crazy. He was the same. It's crazy. He was the same kid for the Mighty Ducks franchise.
And
yeah, that's right.
And Dawson's Creek.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I hear, James Van Der Beek's a total asshole in real life.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, to be fair, Dawson was a bit of an asshole if you want to look at it that way. No, he made the right choice by picking Pacey.
It made sense. He played Rocky in Power/Rangers.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he did.
Wasn't Katie Sackhoff in that too?
Yes.
She was. She was Kimberly.
Cool.
and then there was Dog Soldiers. Now, to be fair to that movie, that's probably the closest thing to a decent werewolf movie since Werewolf in London, because it was more like
Hey, what about Wolf Cop?
What? What is Wolf Cop?
Oh,
Watch it.
What is Wolf Cop?
right.
It's all in the title. He's a wolf.
Okay.
He's a cop.
That actually sounds like something Oni would make me watch. Watch Wolf Cop.
Watch
Why?
it. Watch all of you fuckers watch it as soon as possible.
I've seen clips of this. One of the transformations he makes in the jail cell, the first thing he asks his buddy to do is hand him beer and then beer donuts.
Trust me, that plays an important part in the movie.
Oh my god.
The beer, not the donuts.
Oh my god, that's actually hilarious.
It's an amazing movie. I watch my review if you want to spoil yourselves early. Watch my review of it on my channel on episode 20 of Fully Endorsed, and then or you can just go straight up watch it by yourselves and then get back to me on it.
You know what? I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna make Oni watch it.
Do it,
Yeah, we should watch Wolf Cop.
Watch Wolf Cop. It's all in the title. The title says everything you need to know about Wolf Cop.
The other one, now this one I feel like is underrated. Does anybody know the movie Howl?
I've heard of it.
The one with the moving castle?
Not seen.
No, the situation is, it's a survival horror.
Character from Jersey Shore, yes.
No. It's a survival horror setting, except unlike Dog Soldiers, where everyone was gathering to a cottage in the forest. This time, the survival setting is on a train that's broken down in the forest, and you get like characters like from all sorts. You have the disgruntled train conductor, you have the asshole businessman, you have the teen at college, and you have that one guy who's probably had too many burgers and pasties at soccer games, and you can tell he's going to be one of the victims. And they wrote the antagonists as being very intelligent, because aside from setting up a trap by leaving a deer in the middle of the tracks that would cut the fuel line underneath, they also sabotage the satellite that's on top of one of the carriages so nobody can get any calls out for help. But I think what lets it down is the CG work that they put in, because they don't necessarily look like werewolves. They just look like something out of Resident Evil gone wrong.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's more about the characters than the actual creatures, because it's sort of how they sort of get to know each other and bond with each other. And I think they had Sean Pertwee, who you might know better as Alfred Pennyworth from Gotham, because he was actually originally in Dog Soldiers, and he was one of the characters that starting to turn towards the end, but he sets the house alight, knowing it'll kill all of them. And he's in this, but as the train driver, but gets taken out. Again, it's one of those, watch it if you're curious. It's not something I would write home about, but it's one of those, it's entertaining and does what it needs to. I don't know. I felt like it was a little too ambitious for what it was trying to do. I felt like maybe if a little bit more money had been put into the budget and actually use prosthetic practical effects instead of CG, then it might have gotten over more with people. But, you know, that's my perspective on it. I feel like you should only use CG if it's not possible to do anything practical. I mean, if you're using like a running T-Rex from Jurassic Park, yeah, you gotta use CG. But if you can have something that you could just have an actor on stilts, or extra like puff-up shoes to sell the effect, then do it that way. Because for one thing, the actors don't have to make pretend that, you know, to something that's not there, and the reaction can be genuine. But I don't know. If Ryan Gosling does do a modern day Wolfman, that could work, then alright, it'll be the first successful attempt, because I'm gonna be frank. I could see that Benicio del Toro was trying with the 2010 remake of The Wolfman. Now, because Random did a reaction and review, because he was doing like a Halloween month in 2010, 2011, not 100% sure when. The things that they got right is production value and the atmosphere by setting it in Victorian era London as opposed to 1940s England. And the writing is, you know, for the most part is okay, but Del Toro, he was just so horribly miscast. I don't know. Half the time I felt like he was half asleep in some scenes. The best way I can describe this, it'd be like getting Will Smith to play the Carlton role and to get Alfonso Ribeiro to play the Will Smith role. You see how that wouldn't work?
Mm-hmm.
Or, to put it another way, it'd be like, let's think of something that may be applicable to Raiden. It'd be like getting Denzel Washington to play a Chris Tucker role.
Oh God.
You see how that don't
Well,
work?
to be fair, Denzel Washington as Chris Tucker's character from Rush Hour would be hilarious.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins chews the scene, as he so often does in this movie, literally and figuratively. Emily Blunt, I don't know what she was doing in that movie, because I could tell she just did not want to be there. And Hugo Weaving, well, you know, dial a villain, there he is. He does fine, but that movie is what I like to think of. To use Double Toasted's analogy, it's good as a matinee. You know, it does what it needs to. Although Dan just said, imagine Morgan Freeman in a Chris Tucker role. Oh, good lord, no.
Oh God, no.
But like I say, it'd be interesting to see what Ryan Gosling provides, and like I say, he could have been Batman at one stage, so
that would have been good.
That would have been intriguing. And of course, we still don't know what we're getting with regards to Batman for like the next phase of DC movies, because one source is saying that we're going to get Michael Keaton's Batman from an alternate universe come in and actually be like the sort of Nick Fury type role for the Justice League, with the possibility of Keaton putting the cape and cowl on one more time, which I will happily pay money to see that. And then there's the other rumor that Ben Affleck is going to return but still have Michael Keaton there, and I'm like, okay, how does that work?
Multiverse theory?
Basically.
That'd be like having another Spider-Man movie where you've got Maguire, Garfield, and Holland, but they're all Peter Parker.
Apparently they're thinking about doing that for the Doctor Strange movie.
That's gonna get weird. I like it.
Here's the thing, and I've been very candid about this, probably since Tom Holland came in. Maguire is the best Peter Parker because he's got the awkward shyness and introvertedness down to a T. Garfield is the best Spidey because he doesn't know when to shut the fuck up. Whereas Holland, I feel like in places he's trying too hard to be both. He's a good actor, don't get me wrong, but I feel like he comes across as more of a fanboy and less of Spidey. Now that's purely my perspective. Your perspective may be different, and that's all fine with me. But for me, if you could get Maguire and Garfield to do the fusion dance, there's your perfect Spider-Man performance because he's got Parker and Spidey perfect. Because the thing I noticed with Maguire is he only seems to do like maybe 2 jokes per movie, when part of Spider-Man's gimmick is humor is his facade, just as a way of masking his feelings, literally and figuratively. Whereas Garfield, he doesn't really have this shy awkwardness. I mean, he is a loner, but he's the Peter Parker that likes to go skateboarding and do sort of other extreme sports and what have you, and it's just like, that's Spidey somehow. Okay. I don't know. And of course it'd be interesting to see what they do for Black Panther 2, because they have confirmed they're going to write it into the movie that T'Challa is dead.
Yeah.
I just hope they do it in a way that's respectful to Chadwick,
Yeah.
and not just something that's, just like a cheap throwaway line,
Yeah.
Because he deserves better than that.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Definitely. Tell you that, it was definitely a big loss to all,
Yeah, because here's the thing. You wouldn't think, looking at him over the last 4 years, this was a man that wasn't well. Because he worked his ass off.
Oh yeah.
Although, I will say...
he I think he was dedicated to his craft instead of just saying, hey, I'm not well. He definitely didn't want to show people like, hey, I'm not feeling good,
I will say though, I think it was either late 2016, early 2017 when he was at an award show to give Denzel Washington this Lifetime Achievement Award. You could tell the look in Denzel's face. He knew something was wrong, but he couldn't say anything. And the thing, Chadwick knocked out 10 movies in the space of 4 years. Some people can't knock out 10 movies in their own careers, let alone 4 years. But
Chadwick was a rare breed, you know what I'm saying?
He made every moment count. And
Definitely.
I say fair play to him.
Oh yeah.
And it's like we've said before, when we were covering his passing a while back, when you watch the music video for All the Stars, that reads so differently now.
Oh yeah. That, I think I said this before. It's like that whole music video felt like it made Black Panther like a Disney movie. Yeah, Marvel's owned by Disney, but like a real actual Disney movie.
The thing I like the touch of in that music video is when you see him walking through the petrified forest, and there's just multiple Black Panthers just...
Yeah, that was really good.
Just strolling on beside him, It's like, hey, I'm just walking with my cats. No big deal. Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing it felt like it had a Lion King type vibe.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who noticed that.
Yeah, it was like for a couple for like a year when I was like when I watched the movie, you know, it definitely felt like it felt like Lion King brought to life the real way, not that shit we got, was it this year?
Last year.
Or last year. Last year. Dude, it's crazy because I forgot that movie existed.
I think most people have. Thing I look at that movie is I look at it on two fronts. If you never saw the Majesty, that is the 1994 original classic, then it's alright.
Yeah.
But if you saw the original and then look at the 2019 remake, you're like, why does this exist? You know, there was nothing wrong with the original. And I think the biggest detriment to the remake is 95% of that movie's dialogue is line for line repeat from the original. I'm like, why?
I think for me the only thing good was Timon and Pumbaa.
Mm-hmm. And to be fair, whoever the actor was that played Timon, it's basically Nathan Lane. And it's like, why couldn't you just get Nathan Lane? Although Seth Rogen as Pumbaa, I was fine with it until they did.
It's different.
I was fine with Pumbaa until the fat acceptance joke came up. I'm like, oh come on, guys,
no.
really?
Everything needs to be accepted nowadays.
Yeah, and apparently they put in Be Our Guest instead of
the hula dance.
Yeah, because apparently they thought the hula dance was offensive.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I know.
How?
Exactly. Because the whole point of the hula dance...
Isn't the hula dance a traditional Hawaiian tradition with that? What?
I think it was looked upon Timon, you know, dressing up effeminately would have been implied as being offensive to the LGBTQ community. At least that's how I'm understanding it. The whole point of that is trying to show what ridiculous thing do you want me to do to garner their attention. And Timon considered doing the hula dance, which how would they know what the hula dance is? Because they're in Africa and not Hawaii.
I mean,
it was a line improv by the script writers as well.
How about because fuck you, that's why.
I was waiting for that.
Oh, Kaiju, it's good to have you back.
Yep.
I'm just glad they're not doing a live action remake of Simba's Pride, because there was nothing wrong with that directed DVD movie.
Yeah, I feel like that was the only Disney sequel that was really good.
Apparently they are doing a sequel to the live action Lion King.
I didn't hear about that by Double Toasted.
Yeah.
And apparently they're doing a sequel to the Jungle Book as well. Personally,
I'm inclined to check that out, actually.
The Jungle Book I didn't actually mind.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah, same here.
I mean, in terms of story, I'd say at least 90% of that movie is pretty much a rehash of the original. The only difference is Mowgli doesn't go with the man village. At the end, he stays in the jungle.
I was okay with that, actually.
Yeah.
But the only thing I'm concerned about this, who are they gonna get as a villain? Who are they gonna get as a villain? Because, good lord, Idris Elba, Shere Khan, well done.
Killed it. Although I will say this, and this is some other people's thoughts as well. Bill Murray, why did you bother doing that movie? You phoned it in again.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
Ben Kingsley carried that movie on his back.
Of course.
Although Christopher Walken is King Louis, I thought, okay.
I mean, Christopher Walken, no matter what he does, he's gonna kill it. Like, I mean, my personal favorite performance of him was when he was the Headless Horseman in Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, I can't watch that movie these days. That creeps me out.
What? The scene near the end where the Headless Horseman finds his head and the CGI just combines Christopher Walken.
And that
I can't lie to you, that shit was amazing.
That grin. And the look on his.
I do agree with critic. That was the best use of Christopher Walken ever.
It was the look on his face, and then when the woman comes to realizing what's going to happen, you're like, oh dear.
You're fucked. I mean, I understand. I mean, there's a lot of that movie that was crazy. Like when they found that tree filled with dead bodies.
I don't know if I should say this is funny, but remember that one time in Team 4 Star where he goes, you know what's the difference between me and you? It's like, you're Christopher Reeves and I'm Christopher Walken.
Actually the joke was like, hey Kakarot, what's the difference with Christopher Walken? Christopher Reeves! That joke was in bad taste. Don't care, evil.
I mean, I get they're trying to do it for dark humor, but I just looked at that and I thought, I'm not touching that.
Oh, please. Team Fortress has done many dark jokes like this. As a matter of fact, let me siphon it in. It's from Helsing.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Oh my god!
And that's from episode 3.
Oh god!
And if you also recall, I forget what album this was of Eminem, but he was doing like a Christopher Reeves impersonation, and then even like one of his producers, I don't know if this was done purposely as a skit or recorded voicemail, goes, and the whole Christopher Reeves stuff, you know the guy's dead, right? I don't have your fucking back on this one, I'm out. But then again, it's
also there's one joke in Helsing that I don't know, my friends, and we're gonna look at old things. I don't know. I'm Cockney. I'm uncultured.
We went from TMNT to dark jokes to Team 4 Star and Helsing.
I think it's that time we should head out because my time is 7:44.
Oh yeah, because you're about 5 hours behind. 10:44 p.m.
Yes.
Shouldn't you be 5 hours behind me?
I don't know. Daylight saving times ended.
Liz, what time should it be for you?
Right now it's 5:46. It's almost 6 o'clock.
Okay, that makes sense from your perspective, because you're supposed to be about 8 hours behind me. Damn.
Because you're living in Pacific Standard Time, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm on Greenwich Mean Time. Yeah, because for us it's about 12:46 over here, so I'm surprised it's only, Raiden's only 2 hours behind me. That's interesting.
I'm assuming he's on Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, because
Okay.
Because Eastern on the East Coast it's supposed to be 5 hours behind the UK. No, it's 2 hours behind. Okay, that's interesting.
Yep. Wait, hold on. Yeah, it's 7:47 right now on Eastern Standard Time.
Either.
Yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that's 5 hours. Are you like in the middle of the ocean?
Has there been a sudden time warp?
I don't know.
According to Google, East. Sorry, go ahead.
If it was a time where I'd be Jennifer Lopez's husband.
Huh.
Yeah. Like I say, I think, as Rain said, I think we'll call it time here. We've done what we needed to do this evening. I am going to say, just before we go, I'm going to delay the season finale of Real Features, only because I've had a few things come up that I've had to deal with IRL. Not going to get into it, but it's nothing major, but it's not something I need to broadcast out here. And also because I haven't actually sat down to actually even write the script for this one just yet. But not this Sunday. Well, not next Sunday, but the Sunday after that. I hope to actually bring that one in, and then that'll close out season 15 for this year, and then Real Features will come back at the middle of January, like season 14 did with the Hulk. Did you ever see that review that Nostalgia Critic did, Kaiju?
Of which one?
The Hulk.
For the Hulk.
The what?
The Hulk.
Oh no, I never saw his review for the Hulk. That was long after I stopped watching him.
The Ang Lee version.
Right, yeah. That was way after I stopped watching him.
I'll admit, the only time Oni and I watch that for the commercial specials, that's it. Because those are stupid, but they're actually entertaining for the most part.
We managed to get through 18 minutes of Critic's 33-minute review of it, and
yeah.
Oh god, you guys watched another one after The Wall?
Don't remind me of that shit.
For context,
Hey, you guys decided to go back there.
For context,
it was one time, and that's all we needed.
For context, I'd shown him my review. Then I said, "Have you seen the Critics review?" And said, "Look, you want to quit anytime, just say." I think it was like after the umpteenth, the Hulk. We're like,
okay, we're done. We're done.
Yeah, I'm out. I can't do it. No.
Lid said afterwards, "We made it halfway through. We should have gotten a cookie for that."
I remember that. I remember that line.
There are things in there that I agree with what the critics said, despite all the overacting and whatnot. But by this point, that's Critic in a nutshell. But the fact that it took so long just to get to the first transformation, that's one of the other things I agree with. If they hadn't spent 40 minutes building up to that, then okay. But
40 lingering goddamn minutes of that.
I know. I really wanted to like that movie, back in the day. If they had the writing of the 2008 movie in that, alright, it wouldn't have won any Oscars, but it would have been remembered more fondly. It's no wonder it was a box office bomb. I mean, alright, it made its money back from... See you, Sean. It made its money back, but, you know, it was just bad. And I think we'll lead off like Sean's doing, because, you know, it's getting into the late hours and I've got things to do a lot later. Kaiju, glad you're back with us. It's been a good long time, my friend.
Yeah.
Good to be back. And just let everyone know, as always, what was it? You can. I still have my comic books available for sale on Amazon, Kindle, and Comixology. I also have my new novel-length anthology book, Primal Warrior Draco Azul, Full Metal Chronicles, also on Amazon and now on paperback. And also, I have been invited to as a panelist for the online convention Kasacon, which will be held on Discord. So be sure to follow me either on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, whatever, and I'll let people know about Kasacon in the near future, where I'll be on a indie comics creator panel alongside other individuals who have published their own independent comics.
And also, don't forget to check out Draco Azul in the indie game Daikaiju Daikason, now available on Steam.
Yes, Steam Early Access. That's important to note, since it is still a work in progress game. So all the feedback that players are giving to my buddy Gorion, who is the one-man developer of this game, will be a huge help for him in terms of feedback. And also, not only can you play as Draco Azul, but you can also play as two of Steve's characters, Beatha and Korra. Hope I'm pronouncing those right.
Yep.
So yeah, you can play as his characters. You can play as my character for free on Steam right this second. So go over to Steam, look up Daikaiju Daikason Versus, and you can play as our characters and many other giant robot, giant monster characters for this awesome sort of celebration of the indie kaiju community.
Awesome. And for those also listening, if you'd like to help support the channel, my links to my Teespring page is not only in the description, but it's also on the main channel page, as well as the link to my GamerTees Teespring page. If you like, you know, gaming apparel, if you want to eat, sleep, achieve, and repeat, or tell people your L sustain me,
yes,
it will go a long way to help the channel, and it will put a big smile on Raiden's face. Yes.
yes.
But we thank you for your time this evening, folks. Like I say, we hope to have Win back with us at some point.
We miss our adorable one.
We do.
Yes, we do.
We do. That's all we'll say with regards to that. But yeah, I apologize for being somewhat long-winded today, but there has been some interesting topics that we got through.